Welcome back, everyone, to Lesser Known Operators. I am your host, Nicholas Allen, and my guest today is Joshua David, also known as Joshua Not Josh on Instagram. He is a retired 18 Echo from the 5th Special Forces Group, 2nd Ranger Battalion guy, and the first Green Beret to be a member of the Army gaming team. He's also an avid reader, gamer, streamer, festival addict, and gun bunny. I'll have links to his socials in the show description. Today's episode is brought to you by the Green Beret-owned business Precision Wellness Group and Dr. Taylor Bosley. Precision Wellness Group helps you restore balance, unlock vitality through bioidentical hormone therapy and evidence-based personalized telemedicine. Dr. Taylor Bosley is a board-certified physician, a U.S. Army veteran, and a former Green Beret. So he knows where you've been, where you want to go, and how to get you there. And he's an actual doctor who can prescribe you actual medicine. So if TRT, HRT, hormones, testosterone, peptides, if this is something you've been thinking about for a while now or just looking into, look no further than Dr. Taylor Bosley and Precision Wellness Group. I will have links to their website and socials, along with Joshua Not Josh, in the show description. I do appreciate you guys. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, pass these episodes along. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Joshua David, welcome to Lesser Known Operators, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for the invite, man.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I thank you for accepting. I'm also thank a mutual friend of ours for connecting us, even though it's weird until somebody says, hey, you should talk to this person on social media. You can be connected in this fucking weird space that we're in and not have any contact with each other. So no, I appreciate Drew telling me to talk to you. And I, as a side quest, have been looking for you and just happened to now get linked up with you and run into you all in the same week. So
it means that rebrand actually worked. If you couldn't find me, that's what I was going for.
I was not. I've said it in passing, I think 2 or 3 times on the show, is I'd like to get the guy, the Green Beret that was on the Army gaming team, on the show. And we'll get into that because most people, when I say that, they don't believe me that that's a thing. And I go, no, that is a thing. We're in the 21st century, cats.
I didn't believe it. You know what I mean? I'm like, why would I lie about this? Like, it's literally my job.
Well, it's incomprehensible to some people that the military has that, and that is a thing that markets to the younger generation, is sitting in front of a TV screen and playing video games. A tremendous amount of the population does that, and now adults as well, because they've all grown up playing games. I suck at all video games, and it just really was demoralizing. So I got away from it, but it sounds like you did stick with it a lot.
Everything just before gaming, they had NASCAR, they sponsor all sorts of types of things. Like I had 2008, we had an Army paintball team. You know what I mean? Like they sponsored things to get the name out in the right areas. So like gaming wasn't that much of a stretch. It happened and no one really thought someone would sign off on it. They've been trying to do it for a long time.
No, the world class, is it part of the world class athlete program initiative?
It's not. It was completely set aside because USREC is the one who signed off. So into the recruiting band, completely away from it, even though it's the same thing, just different money pool or something.
So yeah, the military's, everything's a different budget, and it's not with this. We got to keep this over here. So you fell under U.S. Army Recruiting Command for
Correct.
that.
That's where the yeah.
Do you think things would have, we'll get into that later. Do you think things would have been different if you fell under the world-class athlete program? Because they already had everything worked out.
Everything that was an uphill battle for us has already been done somewhere else in the Army. And they were worried about the numbers more than us, competing on the national level and actually placing. If they would have gave us the time to do that, you'd be seeing the Army on the leaderboards everywhere. But they wanted numbers.
And that's a lot of eyes. And that's, the Army, God, it's so weird, because it's a machine, but it's also run by people, and those people need bullets for their NCOERs or their OERs. So they're thinking about the now and sometimes the long term. I'm not saying that this is what happened, but I have seen it in the past, is the long-term goals are set aside for, I need to get this done, so this looks right for me. I'm not saying that happened, but shit like that happens all the time. So
Wouldn't surprise me.
no, not at all, not at all. So Joshua, not Josh. Was Josh ruining your life, and now Joshua had to take over?
Man, I don't know. I've always gone by Joshua, and all like the bad memes or whatever you see is like if he starts with a J name and his name's Josh, he's awful. And I was like, well, I go by Joshua, so we won't have that issue.
I had another guest on my show, and I was like, "Is it Anthony or Tony?" And he's like, "It's Anthony now. Tony fucking ruined my life one too many times."
Yeah, Josh fucked up too much. Had to switch it up.
So why did you get? Obviously you got medically retired, but why Oklahoma? And I told you, I'm like, man, Oklahoma ranks down on the list. Although I did kind of like Veneta while I was there for the last few
Small
weeks.
town has one of everything you need. Just one.
One, only one.
I don't know, man. I grew up in like the Broken Arrow, Tulsa area. My entire family's here. I got offered some land with like the ability to purchase more land on top of that, and I was like, I want to be off the grid. I want to be in the corner of nowhere, still close to family by 2 hours. It was just too sweet of a gig to say no to.
And you're building a barn dominium, as you said, right?
Yeah, that's why I was late to the show today. The concrete guy is building the form right now, so I had to go out there and like pre-lay the plumbing, and the plans changed by like 3 inches. So I was retrenching the sewage trench before I came in. Yep.
So what of the build are you actually going to do, and what are you outsourcing?
So I outsourced the pad, the concrete slab, and the metal framework. Um, we were going to do it all by hand of wood, but I was going for like survivability out of here. So I was like, I know a metal guy, so he's coming to do that. That the install for everything exterior will be done in like 3 weeks, 3 weeks to a month, and then everything inside I'm doing. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, and
I'll probably be
like
calling
what?
you.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, I mean, have tools will travel, but I've been out of the game a while. What what percentage off the grid are you looking to attain?
I
Are you
mean,
going to be? You don't want to end up on Homestead Rescue. That's all obviously the
yeah.
first
When I
goal.
start putting connexes in the ground, you should be worried.
I,
No, I
I
mean,
fucked. I fucked up. We're gonna live in a box.
yeah. The first thing is connex in the ground. No, I have well water, but I did connect to the city, so I'm not completely off the grid. And then I'm having an electric ran in next week, so I'll have electric and water through the city. But besides that, we're growing everything here, getting like locally sourcing all the meat. We're not gonna pretty much just cutting out online shopping. Man, Pokemon cards. That's about it.
And you said Pokemon cards?
Yeah, yeah, they're really hard to find, but out here the Walmart's just fully stocked because no one knows. So literally a small gold mine.
Yeah. If that what is it? The overpass. If the overpass wasn't there in the highway, that town would be pretty desolate.
It just becomes part of
It's got a pretty.
fix at that point.
There's nothing. You guys aren't too far outside of town, and there is nothing out there. You guys, you're not. You're close enough to where you can go to the Walmart though, which is nice. So that's good. You
12
at
minutes.
least.
12 minutes away. So Walmart.
Yeah, but as I was driving out there, everybody's looking at you like, "What the fuck are you doing back here?"
I
Sort
mean,
of thing.
you seen what my girl and I look like? Like we walk around. I'm in a crop top. She's in a crop top. Like they don't know what to do with us. I'm like, I'm actually from Oklahoma. I promise. They're like, yeah, get out. It's fine.
Um, at the gym in town there, I was getting that. Are you from here? Like, no, obviously not. I'm not from here.
I tell you what, yesterday there was 3 guys between the size of you and I, like kind of trimmed up beards. I was like, who the hell are these? These are the coolest kids this town's ever seen. And I'm like, they're just at the gym. So people exist here. You just don't see them.
And that's every small town, man. That's every small town. People just come out of the work. I used to work at a bar on the edge of town in Illinois, and I think we had $1 bottles night, and the people that would come out of the neighborhoods for dollar bottles, I'm like, where? I've lived here my whole life. Where the fuck do you people come from? You know, and that's everywhere, every small town.
Nothing out here is on Google Earth either, so I'm sure there's just miscellaneous people living in the woods out here. Like it would not surprise me.
Yeah, people don't want to be found, and that's what I got from some of the people in town. Is there's a community of folks out there that just want to get away, and I think that's a big part of America as well. You get out in the sticks, and people just want to be left alone. Is that what you're shooting for?
It is, and I started the new page like to showcase what we're doing out of here, and so many people were like, "That's the American dream. Like that's goals. Is just getting a lot of land somewhere where there's no one around. You could be left alone." And I was like, "Wow, I didn't realize everyone turned into an introvert. Didn't want to be talked to." But I feel like it's slowly going that way.
I think it's this. I think it's this screens and our phones and are contributing to it because we're not getting direct human interaction as much as we used to. And in the military, it's the opposite. You get way too much.
Take it
You
away.
get yeah, you like I just want to be left alone. I don't want to have to be told I have to shave and
I
dress
also
up this
don't
certain
really
way and
believe
go
in
to this.
being overstimulated. So there's like, yeah, you're just gonna deal with whatever's happening. Sorry.
Hmm. Yeah, and you're gonna fucking deal with it, and it takes a toll on you. And then, and then go live out in the boonies and just be chill
Yeah,
and
we
just
decided
hang
that
out.
we'll have this as like a home base. I got a couple buddies gonna be moving out here, also kind of staying on the property. Like if we want to go somewhere, there's nothing in Oklahoma, so we'll just travel. Like pick something you want to go, and every now and then we'll just escape to civilization so you can have DoorDash and shit. I get it.
Well, you guys, it seems like you guys are traveling every once in a while for her events. And do you still have things you go to or anything like
Um,
that?
I mean like TwitchCon or any of the like the gaming events I do. Timo and I are gonna start doing. It's like one canine. It's like a Spartan race, but for you and your dog. So I'm gonna start traveling. It's a lot of like Alabama, Georgia area. So I'm gonna start traveling down there and go with Timo, take him to those because I could literally not leave this house for months and be perfectly fine. So
Why is that? Have you always been that way?
I mean, my early regiment days I partied pretty hard, but yeah, I'm if I'm gonna go outside, I'm gonna go to the gym or work out or explore the woods. Like I'm perfectly okay with never going anywhere.
Except for the gym.
Well,
Have you always,
I'm building a full gym at the barn,
yeah,
so I don't have to go.
and a range too, right?
Yeah, yeah, range. I still got to put it wherever the septic's going. I got to do that first before I start the range. But yeah, full gym, like a 50-meter flat range, nothing crazy, and then the barn.
Yeah, man. That's a, that's, I mean, it sounds, if it wasn't in Oklahoma, I'd be backing you
I mean, there's
100%.
not so many. You don't have a lot of options. Like I guess Montana, Wyoming.
A lot of GBs in Montana,
Yeah,
man.
for the
That's
same reason. Plus cooler
yeah.
temperatures. Like these Oklahoma humid summers kind of fucked me up. I wasn't like I came from Phoenix, so I was like, it's 120. I'm out here digging trenches, about to die after 30 minutes of work, man. I'm sucking.
Yeah, Phoenix, that's a different hot. That is oppressive hot.
Like I
But
really didn't go outside in Phoenix. Like if there's like a 4 month block, it didn't happen. It's too hot.
you're from Oklahoma originally, you said?
Yeah, like it's like an hour, 15 minutes away from here.
Yeah, well, everything's at least an hour away. If you need to go to the store in Oklahoma, it's an hour away. And the
Every
you get on
big
the
city,
highway.
an hour from where I'm at. I just can't get anywhere close.
I don't know, Tulsa's not so I've gone out in Oklahoma City a couple times. It's not too bad. It's just
Yeah, like I left Oklahoma before I could go out. So now every time I come home for whatever, I'm like, oh, there's a bar scene here. There's like never heard of Bricktown, Oklahoma City, never went out. So now it was every summer I'd come spend 2 weeks just like explore Oklahoma as an adult.
it is. And everything is I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun as an adult exploring everything again and just with a new perspective.
Oh,
But
definitely new perspective.
yeah, a little bit older, maybe wiser or stupider. I don't know. A lot of blows to the head.
I don't know. I'm pretty fucked up. I don't know if it's better or worse.
Why do you say that? Why do you say you're fucked up?
Um, so when I got diabetes, they sent me to Hunter Seven sent me to Boston to like really check to make sure like why I'm getting diabetes. Like they thought it was weird. I don't have a TBI, but like whatever they search in the front of your head was bigger than it was supposed to be. And she's like, well, it could turn into something in the future. Man, about a year ago, my short term memory just started going out the window. Like I'm writing notes down, forgetting I wrote the notes about something that's going to be in 30 minutes. It was for like a 3 month period. I was like, I was fucking freaking out for a little bit. Uh, Not so bad now. I didn't really change anything at all. But there was a 3 month period where I was about to go back to the VA and be like, yo, there's something up.
It's weird, isn't it? I know exactly what you're talking about because when I have conversations with people, there is this like cloudy limit in my thought process, and I can't describe it to anybody else, but I know it's there. It's like it just goes black. The thoughts just stop, or
Yeah,
my ability
really
to
frustrating.
comprehend
You can't
things.
explain. You know what I mean? Like you know what it is, but like you trying to tell someone about it, you're just like I don't know, breaking in half. I don't know what this is.
Yeah, it's I used to be pretty sharp, like very sharp and everything, and things processed. And this wasn't this little thing that is in my thought process. It wasn't there. Uh, and then one day it just started. I was thinking, I go, man, there's a limit to the thoughts that I can articulate with my words and then processing. Because while we're talking, I'm having other conversations in my head, and I'm also fighting around this cloud of trying to understand what people are talking about as well. It's very strange. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's weird. Definitely a low spot. I'm not a very emotional person, but like I was fucking worried.
Mm. Like worried how?
I was worried that it was going to
Like
continually get
hopelessness
worse.
or
Like I feel like it
okay.
was just like I was my health was declining at that point. I was like, well, it's pretty much my brain because everything else about me is as healthy as I can be. So like, I have no control of what's happening in my head, and I was just worried that it was going to continue to get worse and that nothing would be able to help. But it just fucking snapped one day. It just stopped. Like,
Like a dementia thing.
yeah, like it was a solid month to 2 months, and I was like, shit, I'm losing it. But then it literally just stopped. And I haven't even thought about that in months.
There is also something if you're hyper fixated on it, you can become more aware and make it worse. And if you
Sounds like
kind of
something I would
stop
do.
and relax, but what do the doctors say about that?
I didn't go back once it stopped. Like I gave it enough time where I was like, maybe I should go, and then right around that time frame, it just stopped happening. I was like, all right, if it comes up again, I'll go immediately. But I'm not very good at going to the doctor.
If
Last
you
time I went
don't,
to the doctor, I got fucking diabetes. All right, like it's not good for me.
it's it's not funny, but it is funny, you know,
It's fucking
because
hilarious. But
we
yeah,
associate those things like, oh no, hey, are you going to take care of this? No, last time I did that, I got a speeding ticket. Well, that doesn't have anything to do with it.
doesn't
Yeah, but
matter.
I'm not. I don't, it doesn't matter, man. I don't want that to happen again. Why? Well, because I know I'm going to drive like shit on my way there. Well, don't do that. No,
Trying
don't tell
not
me
to
how to live.
set myself up for failure. Trying to do myself a favor. That's it.
Uh, Hunter 7 Foundation. How did you get hooked up with them?
Once the esports team happened, so I gained a following on everything. They were I don't know. I don't know if I donated to charity or they did something, but they popped up when I got diabetes and like, hey, we want to send you somewhere to like really get you checked up. But I was like, okay, like I have no idea who you guys are, but thank you. And they fully funded me to the Boston TBI clinic. It was one of the coolest clinics, most professional, like thorough places I've ever been. And then they got the write up. They're like, all right, looks good. Everything was super healthy, minus the diabetes. They're like, literally, you are fucking perfect. I was like, what about my alcohol problem? They're like, we couldn't see that. I'm like, okay, everything was fun. And that's why I was like, cool, no TBI, good. We like that. And then, a few months later, the cloud issue you're speaking about came up, and I was like, well, now I'm a little, that's why I got worried that they missed something.
But you were heavily drinking, you said?
Uh, I mean, I was drinking about a 30 rack a night since like 2008. And when I got back to
That could
Bragg after the
that could
esports,
contribute to that.
yeah. So when I got to Bragg, I knew I was big. I made the A list. They're talking about sending me back to a team or something else. I was like, this is crazy. So I cut alcohol cold turkey to like really like get back into the shape that I should be. And they said I put my body into shock and it triggered my dormant type 1 diabetes. from cutting alcohol cold turkey.
Yeah, it's called delirium tremens. It just could kill you.
I didn't. I'm an echo man. I don't know this shit. I've been drinking my whole life. Now I
Now,
don't.
I do say
Oh,
that. No, I also cut it off from handle every other day to zero, and that was pay, painful, very painful.
yeah.
So
Mine was
I
mine
know it's
cost me 40 pounds in a month.
yeah, that's
Crazy.
I yeah, I'm glad I don't have to do that again, and hopefully never going back.
Yeah. I might. I'll have like a beer a night now, 1 to 2 at tops. The fucking VA was like, you should really try to limit that. I was like, lady, I was drinking 30 a night. I think 1 or 2, I'm gonna be just fine. Thank you.
If you can control it and keep it under, I have no off button, so
Yeah, I'm pretty good about
it's
it now. It's like I'm so tired from working all day that I can have a beer and I'm like ready for bed anyway. So it's not like I'm going out or I have free time to crush up 30.
yeah, that is a a nice cold. What do we say in Korea? A cold cast at the end of a hard day.
That's all you need.
That'll that's it, man.
No,
So why did you why did you start down this whole path in the first place? Because you didn't want to stay in Oklahoma and work at the Quick Trip down the street and
I actually
just
did
build a
work
life
at Quick
there.
Trip before I joined. Um, yeah, I was playing Halo competitively, and Halo 3 came out, and we didn't make it to the professional bracket. And the team that beat us had a girl on it, and that was the first time a girl in the pro circuit made it to like professional bracket. So we all didn't know what to do with ourselves. The online was bad, so we all just kind of quit. I joined the army. I was like 3 days later. I just fucking went and enlisted.
You joined the military because a girl beat you on Halo 3 online?
It was on land. It was in person. Worse. Um, no, I quit. I joined the army because I wasn't good at Halo. There's supplementary facts in there, yes, but yeah,
But it said you've never been ranked lower than 24th in the world at any time.
yeah, I was really good back then. And then Halo 3 came out, and I was not even top 32.
Not even top
Yeah,
32. How many players? We're talking about hundreds of thousands of people, right?
just to get to the event. Yeah, then there's like 200 or 300 teams there. Top 32 is considered pro, or the pro bracket. Top 16 is actually pro. But yeah, so we got like 35th or something. It was bad. We literally just unplugged our controllers, went to the hotel, and got hammered. And then one dude became a professional fucking what? Why can't I think of it? Not Hank. Fucking when you muscle hands against each other. Why can't I think of the name? Arm wrestling. Oh, so he became a professional arm wrestler. One guy went and became a firefighter, and then they all had like crazy career paths after we all quit Halo. I don't know why I could think about arm wrestling. I was like shaking, like whatever.
How old were you guys? How old? Yeah, how old was everybody?
Between 16 and 20.
16 to 20. You get, so you're at this, I assume a convention center,
Yeah,
right?
big
And
center,
everybody's
bunch of
plugged in.
TVs, sweat lords. Yeah,
And so you started gaming when you were 12 or so,
yeah. Right when Halo 1 came out.
and now you're a few years later, you're at a convention. You guys don't live up to your potential or whatever, and then everybody plugs in their controller and starts a whole new life after that.
Literally, we just hit the reset. Like a lot of us stopped gaming for a while. We all switched from Halo to any other game. But yeah, I actually talked to all of them a couple days ago. Like one still firefighter. I don't know what the arm wrestling dude's doing. He's like 6'6", 350. Like everyone just left Halo. We come back now to play with each other, like get a couple games in, and then go back to our crazy lives.
That's interesting to me, man. Yeah. And but
So
how
much proud
long were
moment.
you all playing together at that
Uh,
point?
that team, we probably only been like a month or two or so.
Oh, and you're 30 something in the world?
Yeah,
That's not bad.
when you mesh, like you don't need to be a team for a long time, especially in that because like the game's so simple and symmetrical in so many ways that it's kind of like Counter Strike. Everyone has a role. Everyone knows exactly what they're doing. As long as you listen to each other, you can be a team in a month.
Oh my God, I watched a friend of mine play Counter Strike, and he was one of the better players in the world. And he's like, oh, I hit that guy. I'm like, you did what? When did you shoot, motherfucker? Holy fuck!
It's all
He's
just
like, I know there's a guy
fine.
there. Um, no, I get that. It's just not something I possess. But how did you realize it? Just you pick up a controller as a kid and go, I'm really good at this, or did you work at it and become obsessed with it?
Yeah, I was always better than my friends. Before like online started. So I always knew I was like, whatever, I'm best in the neighborhood, little flex. But then this guy named Zios was traveling to different fairs in the area. He's like one of the best Halo 1 players in the world, but he's playing Halo 2. And he's like doing 1v1s. And if you beat him, you get like a cool prize. So I showed up and I did really well. Like, that was the only time I've ever tested my skill to someone on a professional level or that, it's done it. And then after that, I went to my first event like 2 weeks later, like just thinking I'm the best in the fucking world. There's a free for all, so you don't have to play teams. So I just played free for all. I did pretty well, and I got hooked. Like someone saw me playing, and they're like, "We want you on our team." And I was like, "I'm, 16." I'm like, "Yeah, I just got drafted by a Halo team." And yeah, I just went from there.
Um, and how did school fit into this?
I got kicked out my senior year, so I got my. Well, let's see. I started playing Halo in like eighth or ninth grade. Yeah, I mean, I got in trouble a lot for sleeping in class because I was playing to like 4 a.m. every night, Halo 2, like practicing with the team. I still did sports, like I still made practices and shit, but like school definitely fell to the bottom.
You don't need it. I don't remember anything from high school,
Yeah,
really at all.
I mean, during the army, they made me get a GED. They sent me to get a GED and then sent me in the army. So I was like, that was easy.
Yeah, is that with the recruiter? Because you joined in what year?
2008.
Was the Wonder Years? They were taking everybody.
Well, they just started a new program. Like they sent me to not Knox, not Benning. Was there a G? No. It's one of
Jordan?
the non-infantry basic trainings.
So
Jackson.
there's still Jackson.
So they
Yeah.
sent me to Jackson with all the other kids who don't have a high school diploma, put us in a class with a bunch of off the line E7s infantry guys who are our chaperones. So they would take us to class. You'd have like a 2-hour military session where you like basic training stuff, and then you test out on your own accord. So we already had uniforms. We didn't go to basic. We had a whole duffel bag of weird shit. Just go into class until you could test out on your own. Then you test out, and they just ship you to basic training. With you already did all the weird shit, like the hair, the uniforms, and you just like meet all these new people. Like, hi, I'm the kid from the GD program, and then you start.
I've never heard this before.
Yeah, it
So
was called like fuck. It was a pilot program. I don't know
you
how
don't.
long it
You
lasted
don't
after that.
so you go into like you shipped like you were going to basic training, and you go to like 90th AG or 95th AG or whatever, and then
Yeah,
they just broke you
they
off.
broke you off to go be a GD student for as long as it takes, and then they send you to basic.
Hmm. How long did it take?
Like 2 weeks. It was like me and this other chick were like, this is and they were smoking the shit out of us on these like military blocks of instruction. So it was awful. You know what I mean? Like you're doing school all day, then you're getting smoked just because it's angry E7s that got pulled from the line to chaperone me. So we tested out as fast as we possibly could.
Yeah, and then so that's 2008, and so you actually got your GED, and now it's time for basic training. And
Yeah. So I
what was
enlisted
you
11X
said you had
option 40.
a RASP
Yeah.
contract,
I got my
right?
option 40 from my recruiter back in Broken Arrow. It was ripped then. So I get the basic. I was distributing tobacco. Bad thing. So they took my RIP contract. They said they took my airborne contract, but when the orders came, I had my airborne one still, and I was like, nice. Went to airborne. The Rangers come like, who wants to be a Ranger? Rose my hand. They're like, follow the truck. I was like, nice. Graduated RIP. Went back, saw my drill sergeant. So I was like, hey, I still got my contract. I actually ran into one of them on my first deployment. Like I'm wearing all black PTs. He's wearing whatever the army wears with all this shit. And I'm just like, stop, man, let's go. He was pissed. Oh,
Why were you distributing tobacco?
some habits never die, I guess. So I was still off the street, you know, like looking to make money. I don't know. Wasn't really getting my first checks yet because I was in basic.
What did you need money for?
I don't know. I was an 18-year-old kid. I thought, I don't know. I had no idea what I was doing. I signed up for Regiment twice without ever seeing Black Hawk Down. Like I didn't even know what they did. It sounded cool.
It just sounded. That's all
I
you
had
had.
no
It
idea what it
sounded
was.
cool.
The guy's like, I can get you this. I'm like, sick. I didn't Google it. I didn't know shit.
Okay.
No,
I mean, that's a technique. That's a technique.
it's not recommended. Tell you what, not knowing anything about a selection process or anything is not recommended.
Were you physically ready for RIP when you got there?
Yeah, I was skinny. I mean, I didn't run, but I worked out, but I didn't eat right. So I was probably 145, 150, but I could run and I could rug. Everything else I built like in rib.
So you get through, you get to RIP, and so this is 2008. But what are you thinking when you show up and you go, "Oh fuck, what did I sign up for here?"
I mean, instant regret was a lot of it, but then it sounds bad, but like when you're in this, we'll say in the suck, right? Like you remember being next to people and seeing how much they're sucking and how motivated you get by watching them suck. Like
Yeah.
I know that's probably pretty bad to say, but like I was thriving on these people that had prepared their whole lives for this shit. And I was like, they just take everything so literal. Like they think the drill sergeant's going to beat them up or like they're going to run them until they die. I'm like, that's, you know, you can't actually do that, but no one believed it. They just ate that fucking juice and just kept it going. And I loved it.
Yeah, there is a sadistic portion of all of these courses and everything where you feed off of people actually dying.
That's great.
Yeah.
You got
Not
to
for
find your own
them.
motivation. I mean, I don't support it. I hope it doesn't happen, but I will be motivated by us doing the same shit and you not being to perform. Sorry.
So you signed yourself up for a higher selection without knowing what it is, and now you're there, and you're rising to the occasion. But what are you thinking during this? Do you know at what point did you realize what a ranger was and what you were actually doing?
I mean, once we got to Coal Range and it was just the big FTX out there, I was like, this shit's really cool. Like, yeah, we're doing super old tactics and stuff to the woods that I don't think correlate now, but just being in that atmosphere and seeing how motivated and psychotic everybody was, I loved it. I mean, I have no idea what it meant. Like, you know, on the end state, I didn't know it was like a little direct action fucking kicking doors psycho shit because all the training you do is in the woods. So I didn't really know yet until I got to battalion and I started hearing stories from, you know, their Iraq trips and no one's ever been to Afghanistan. So like hearing those stories, I'm like, fuck, I signed up for some shit. I had no idea.
Yeah, the premier infantry unit in the military. Unless you ask the Marines, then every Marine is better than every Ranger ever.
Every
But
single one of them.
at least that's what the guys in the comments tell me somehow. But whatever, you guys, good. I wish everybody had as much pride in their unit as Marines have in being Marines.
Did
And
I tell
I
you
think
what?
that,
Those dudes, discipline's there and camaraderie and just love for their shit. There's no one that will ever compare.
no, I wish the military or the army had, the people in the army love the army as much as Marines love the Marines.
So I agree.
I think because they got that shit figured out, Esprit de Corps or whatever the fuck they call it. So, so you're at RIP with everybody's your age. It's really an 18, 19, 20-year-old game there. Does
Yep.
anybody recognize you? Because some of them had to be gamers and shit. Are you just kind of an ambiguous figure at this point?
Yeah. At that point, I would not. Online wasn't really huge as far as like streaming. So not everyone has their face plastered to their username at that point. You know what I mean? Unless you're physically at an event. No, I didn't. Once I got to 275, someone hooked up an Xbox, right? I was like, sick. Like, this is going to be fun. He turns his Xbox on, and my name is on his box. Like I have a profile created on his Xbox. And I was like, who the fuck are you? He's from Oklahoma. We had actually met multiple times at like local tournaments and played against each other. And he ended up going to RIP. He was already there. He was a tab spec for when I got there. So he'd already been in for a few years. But yeah, he's like, huh, what do you think? 5 years prior to that, I met him at some point and played Halo against him. And
That's
then
interesting.
there's another kid that I played Halo with that went to 1 sub 5 like a year after me. But besides that, no one really knew.
You said the streaming wasn't as big. Do you think if streaming was how it is now then that you would have never gotten out of the game? You would have stayed in the internet forever?
Yeah, that scares me, honestly. If I wouldn't have, we'll say, peaked in 2007, 2008, and I did it in 2010, I never would have joined. Uh, no, I was too good at the game with a pretty decent personality, and I didn't shit talk too much. Like I feel like I would have done really well, but I suck at Halo 3, so I joined the army.
3 years, 3 year difference. I mean, 3 years is a long time, but it's really not. But in technology, there was a big difference from 7 to 10 there then, where
Yeah,
you would
I
have
mean there
people
were
would have
no
started
streamers.
paying you.
Yeah, we were using back then. You were using capture cards to record your entire thing. Then you'd go back and make clips of that, as opposed to just be able to stream it.
Did some of the people like that finished ahead of you that continue with it, are they all still plugged into the matrix?
They are, yeah. There's a couple kids that were really really bad at Halo 2. That Halo 3 was a significant change of how the game's played, and they became like the first professional Halo 3 players, and they're doing great. They haven't stopped. They're still streaming. They're still winning way too much money.
Terrible, right? Oh, people just donating money, is throwing money at their Twitch every
I
day.
can't imagine. I was like,
I mean, do you ever converse with some of them and have that conversation? Because I I didn't get to do some of the stuff I wanted to do in the military, and some of my buddies, but I'm big and strong, right? And so some of my buddies, they want what I have and I want what they have, but it's stuff that you can't like buy or earn or just take. So it takes a lot of commitment. So those things that they have, do you ever think like, oh, I wish I had that, are you happy with what you did do?
no, I'm like it didn't happen. You know what I mean? Like I made a decision when I wasn't good. I'm glad I didn't keep trying to push through sucking and trying to compete because that's not healthy. Um, yeah, I've never looked back. Like especially because I got the opportunity to play games for the army. Like if I ever was going to be regretful or look back, that nixed it because like I'm full circle. I'm playing video games again on a much larger scale. More eyes. Like it was so much fun. So yeah, I'm super okay with the decision I made.
It's weird, and we'll get to that. It's weird how it all came back. I can't wait to see how
My
that
father,
fucking
yes,
conversation.
he hated me gaming growing up. So then I did everything in the army, and he's like, "Nice, you did some cool shit." And I was like, "Hey, Dad, you want to come to Fort Knox?" He's like, "What are you doing there?" I'm like, "You got to pull up." I showed him the office. He's like, "This is disgusting." He's like, "There's no way with your resume you're playing video games for the army." I was like, "Nice, yes, I am."
He would have been less disappointed if I told him I was gay.
Literally, he would have been like, "We'll work through it." But you're playing video games, unforgivable.
You thought you'd gotten out of life, you got your shit together,
He's like,
and
"Look
then
at the
you pull.
discipline. He's growing." I'm like, "Dad, look what I can do." And I'm sitting there with my Crocs on and my fucking Hello Kitty crop top gaming. Yeah, he's real confused.
What was life like for you in Ranger Regiment then?
Awful. Um,
Because you've got no tab.
yeah. I
And
mean,
did you go to Ranger School while at Regiment?
no. So I did. Wasn't there for a long time before the first Afghan trip. Did that. Everything was fun. Good to go. Came back. I never not maxed a PT test right in my life, but you do your time, do some couple trips, you go to school. Um, Before my second trip, I got married, and the student started at that point. He's like, "Yeah, get married, well, you can skip this trip. Send me to a language school before the trip. And he's like, you'll go to Ranger school, then you can catch up with like midway. I was like, sounds good. Dude, new platoon sergeant comes. He's like, you have language? You're coming with us on deployment. I'm like, no. Obviously, I went. We worked with uh, one SF team was like near our compound, and then the other guys were also co-located. So I got a lot of time hanging out with those guys. And I was like, this looks so much better. Took my PT test. He still didn't send me back for school. I was like, all right, that's it. I'm already done. I was a kid. I made really rash decisions, but I emailed the soft recruiter and like he's like, I could send you without anyone's approval. I was like, okay, let's do that. So I didn't tell anyone at Regiment that I was going to selection. I just dropped the orders on his desk one day. Um,
Did you know that it's a death sentence at the time once
I mean, I
when you
knew
signed up?
SF Regiment hated each other for whatever reasons. Like Regiment's like, yeah, fat guys go to SF, blah blah blah. What I didn't know when I was talking to them about was the Q course. I thought it was just a selection, and then you like go to group, right?
Again, no research. Again,
Yeah,
nothing. No decision
yeah.
making.
So I was thinking about the timeline. It was either spend 3 more years in Regiment so I could try out for the walk, or he goes 2 years of team time at an ODA, and I was like, 2 years sounds so much better than another 3 years here, but I didn't know about the Q course.
2 years in the Q course. It seems there's a theme cropping up of not researching what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, it's kind of been a staple in my life, honestly.
Are you? And that does work in SF. Do something and figure it out later. So I
I
mean,
think a
it's
lot
not
of
that
people
it's a bad thing.
overthink everything, especially in the queue or selection. Everyone overthinks it. They try to game it. They get on Reddit. They ask me questions on like how to pass. I'm like, bro, be an athlete. You know what I mean? Like it's a military school. Be an athlete. Be able to run and like be a team player in the lowest way, and you're gonna do just fine. Like you don't need these strength programs. You don't need that shit. You just be an athlete and go. Tie a couple knots,
There's
like
level.
help people when they need help, and you're gonna pass. That's it.
Yeah, be a team player. Some people don't know how to do that, and they need coach. There's different levels. Different people need different things, and one of the traits of being an SF guy is to realize where you're deficient and go get help in that. If you really want something, you'll figure out how to do it. And the guys that are going to graduate are the guys that are going to graduate, and the people that aren't going to aren't going to. But some of those people, they can fix their shortcomings and figure it out in the end either. So
Every
I don't.
single X-ray that asked me for guidance or whatever, I'm like, go find some little athlete with a Ranger scroll. Doesn't even matter if he has a tab or not, but like just glue. If they don't have military knowledge and shit that they actually need, that kid's gonna know it because he's forced to know it. X-rays are also already freaks of nature athletically. Like they're scary. Like they don't need help in that. They just need help in understanding how the military works and how to play the game.
Yeah, Rangers are brutalized into
Brainwashed.
knowing everything. Whatever. I mean, it used to be called indoctrination program, and they
That's
had
what
to
RIP was.
change
It was
that.
Ranger
Yeah,
indoctrination. That's what I went through, and I fully believe
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, it still is RIP. They just changed the name because it didn't sound.
I look
I don't
back
know.
at
Maybe
everything that I did. I'm like, I never would have questioned that ever. Now I'm like, I never would have done that. There's some dumb shit I did. I'm like, I just thought I was invincible.
I mean, we all are to a certain extent until we aren't. Until something bad happens, and then we go, whatever. At least I'm not dead. What? So, what's your? So you did 2 trips in Ranger Battalion, and you didn't have a tab, so life sucks. And then you inform them that you're going to selection. How was that received?
Not well. Um, Basically, they didn't RFS me. I withdrew my whatever service that my volunteered service to them. It was in our blue book that you can do that. So I had to write on a piece of paper. Specialist David am withdrawing myself from Second Ranger Battalion. First sergeant signs it. Boom. He's like, get your shit in the hallway. I was like, I'm going to selection anyways. So I just went straight to selection. Yeah, if I
as
failed
far as
selection, I I don't know where I'd be at Bragg or Lewis or somewhere in the regular infantry line.
you would have just gone across the street to
Fourth ID.
fourth. No, you were at second bet, weren't you?
Yeah, went it fourth up there or first. Something.
No, fourth is at Carson. It's the Strikers. Is it second? Yeah,
Strikers for
second,
sure.
right?
Whatever it is, they
But
look like they hated their lives, and I that was probably my biggest motivation is if all Regiment does is talk shit about SF. Being a Regiment guy, their selection process shouldn't be very hard, right? If all we do is talk shit about how fat they are or like lazy, I'm like, I should be fine. Why is everyone like they're like you're not going to make it? I'm like, I'm pretty sure you say we're better than them, so I should automatically be able to pass all their stuff. Yeah, it was really hard. It wasn't
so
that. It wasn't easy.
there's a lot of talking down on SF from there.
Yeah. They're like, oh, go distribute your soccer balls and your Nike boots. It's like they're weird insults.
And where all that coming from, right? Because these guys have only been in the military for like 3
Yeah,
years, and they're
again,
deploying or
they're not
training the
even
whole time.
grizzled veterans. You know, like your platoon sergeant's 26. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where the hatred came. Probably because they see them living better lives when deployed. Beards. Could be the beards.
And maybe that's how it has to be to keep good order and discipline in the Rangers as well. It just has to be Rangers is the only thing, and you have to be ready to die for being a Ranger at any time,
Like you
and
said,
any other
indoctrination
focus is
program.
going to pull you away.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they know exactly what they're doing. They do it extremely well.
So, how do you feel about the way you exited? Was that the right way to do things from how the age you are now, looking back, and the maturity level you are now, looking back? Was that the correct way to go about it?
No, obviously, open door policy exists, even if they don't agree with what you're saying. But to blindside someone like that, if I looking back at him, like, damn, that was pretty fucked up. When I got back from selection, I passed. Student sergeant's like, bullshit, whatever, shit's still in the hall. So I started out processing, right? Because I had my orders to go to Bragg for the queue. My new PL, like, went to high school with my sister. Like, I just got him in. I was like, that's fucking weird. I know who you are. So everything that needed to be done at platoon level, I went through the SIR. So my platoon sergeant called me a week into PCF leave. Like, I'm in Oklahoma. He's like, why the fuck aren't you at formation? I'm like, I fully outprocessed the unit and the installation 9 days ago. And you hear him just start screaming at the my new PL. And he's like, how did no one tell me? He's like, you didn't care. You shoved him aside once he passed for selection. Like, and then he remembered me a month later. Then I went to Ranger School and saw him because he was cadre. So I was there getting my tab as an SF guy, staring at my platoon sergeant who just somehow got promoted into doing that shit.
I was just about to say, have you ever run into that guy, and how did that
Literally,
go?
I got to fifth group. Sergeant Major was like, here's your packet for Ranger School. Your shoulder's looking a little light. So showed up to group, 30 days PCF sleeve. I'm not in the shape. You know, I had 8 days to go to Benning and get ready for selection or for Ranger School. Bought the packing list there at like Ranger Joe's. You can buy the big duffel. And it's like Ranger School packing list. I just took that whole duffel. That's what I had.
Yeah, he's Ranger Joe's over there. He's got a great business, just a revolving door of money. Jesus, man, you're all over the place. Well, what was selection like? Well, and because I know what it was like because I didn't want to go back to my unit. I wanted out of there, and that's the attitude. Especially my second time in selection, I went in there going, "This is I'm gonna die or I'm gonna get selected." What was your attitude like during selection? Whew. What year? When is this, by the way? Because we might have gone at the same time.
2012.
Which class?
Oh, I have no idea.
What was it? Warm or cold?
Warm. It was like an
I went.
April, May.
Okay, I went in September of 12.
Oh, you know what? I think I graduated the Q around 13. So it would have been summer 2011, 2012. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I graduated end of 14, so you
I
know
was young enough.
we were there at the
I thought I
same
was an
time.
X-ray. You know what I mean? Like I was 20, so I looked like all the 18 X-rays. So I just hung out with them. Didn't have to talk to anybody else. I was like, let's just carry heavy shit around and ruck a lot. So I had no issue. Um, I did get road killed on the star course the first day. I found all my points the first day, even though I got road killed because they just give it back to you. You can't just stop. So I went and found all my points. So they gave me a chance the second day. They're like, hey, we know we road killed you, but you found all 4 points, so you can go again. Probably shouldn't have passed. I lost my gun the second day.
Oh,
Like control burns, it's all blacked out. I sat down to look at my map for like an hour, and I got up and I started walking to my point. Both hands were in my pocket, and I was like, huh. So I had to go back to like it was probably like 2K. Like I was crying. I was like, I'm going back to Regiment. I got road killed yesterday. I lost my gun today. Like, I'm fucked. Found the gun, sprinted the rest of the course, found all the points, and they let me pass.
yeah. No, I know that panic. I never got very far, more than a couple feet. And you go, oh fuck, and you kind of just step backwards. And
Yeah, my hands were in both my hands were in the pocket. I'm like, I've been walking for a really long time. Like, uh,
yeah,
yeah.
just your heart it
When you stop
breaks.
moving, your tracker obviously alerts the cadre. So I was there for about an hour. So he pulled up. He's like, "You good?" I was like, "Oh fuck!" So I got up quickly and left. And that's why I left my gun against the tree.
Just panic.
I just,
Oh
I just
shit, I got
yeah, I just took off running so he couldn't figure out who I was. So I left my gun there.
So based on how you got into Ranger Regiment, I assume you have no idea, or actually you did because you saw Green Berets on deployment.
Yeah,
But is that just your only view of what Green
mm,
Berets are
probably
at that
rad.
point?
Them riding around like a side by side with no helmets and long hair.
And compared to you guys, Ranger
We had
Regiment squared the
hair,
fuck
but
away.
we were always same. We're all in black PTs or we're all wearing the same uniform. Like we don't give a fuck about a lot of the rules, but like the appearance one, you don't have a choice. Like that's the regiment. So seeing these like unruly guys with their long hair and their beards, I'm like, those guys look like they have freedom.
A little bit, yeah, especially downrange, and those years as well.
Yeah. I mean, that was 2010, 2009. They were doing
Yeah,
just fine.
yeah, they're doing the Lord's work. Had quite a few of them on it. Obviously, the more and more people, and I'm sure somewhere people are passing of guests I've had on of
Oh, 100%.
regular Army, and these guys, these are the Green Berets that these junior enlisted are talking about, and then they enlisted and go to selection because they saw these people. I don't have the bandwidth to try and make all these connections, but somebody smarter and better host than me, maybe future me, would be able to do
I've
that,
had
but
guys
not me now.
in the last couple of years reach out. They're like, "Hey, you're Timo's handler, right?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Bro, I was that PFC in Syria in 2016." I was like, "He's like, you're my dog." I was like, "Thanks, man. What's up?" Oh, that was a long time ago. He's like, "Yeah, you popped up. I saw your dog. I know that dog." Great.
Yeah, that's awesome. I keep having people on the show where my one buddy keeps calling me and going, I can't believe it. You got another one of my buddies on that I haven't had contact with. And then they get linked back up. It's like 4 in a row. And he's like, I can't. He's like, I was looking for that dude and you found him. I was like, I didn't do shit, man.
I'm, he's just on the show. You're welcome.
No, I love it. And I love all the benefits of doing this show and things like that. And just really getting to meet everybody. And now that we're older, we've all got different perspectives about the shit that we did and did or didn't do. So you started the Q course, you get selected, obviously. Was there any doubt during selection that you weren't going to get selected, or did you have a handle on it?
No, I mean, I was X-rays. Like I said, were freaks of nature physically, but like I was still pretty high up in the percentage of everything. Um, the land nav worried me a little bit that I was going to have, after affecting thing for me, but no. Besides that, I thought it was pretty good.
So it was a quick turn and burn from Lewis back to Bragg to start the
Yeah,
course then.
I think it was back on the installation at Lewis for under 3 weeks. Like, got there, orders dropped within like 5 days. I started out processing. I was out within like a week.
They got to know too. The lady that cuts the orders at that time, she's got to know. Oh, he's in Ranger Battalion. We gotta, yeah, he's. We got to get him back
I
here.
know they know because the recruiter for SOF on the base was like, "Hey, man, if you need any help or protection," I was like, "What the fuck do I need protection for?" He's like, "If you need somewhere to work, while you're out processing, you can come here." I was like, "What? Excuse me?" Yeah, I didn't go in the hallways. Like it was scary. Like I was fast roping up my windows to leave the building because like I would just get smoked the whole way. Like there's no, they wouldn't let me leave. You just get shit on.
That's that can't. That's too bad. And to hear that sort of thing, but hey, that's how Ranger Regiment is, and
And
they're
there's one
very
of us
good
at
at what they
selection.
do.
There's like 8 or 9 scrolls at selection, and like we obviously clicked up, but we all had the same story. It's like, oh yeah, dude, I'm super fucking fired after this. Like, there's no, yeah, you can come on back, man. It's fine. No, you're not coming back.
Yeah, those dudes at selection that were Ranger guys, and you could tell they were far different than everybody else, and they left nothing on the table at all.
There was, I remember a guy when I was a private went to selection, passed, went to the queue. I don't know if he failed something, but he came back to regiment like while he's in the queue, failed, quit, whatever. All he did was talk shit about SF, and they're like, "Yeah, it's okay. You learned your lesson. Come on back." They let him right back in because all he did was just shit talk SF. They're like, "Yeah, that's right. They do suck. Come back to the family." I was like, "Okay, got it."
He probably had a good reputation before that
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
They're probably really bad to see him go. So for him to play the game, be like, "Yeah, fuck those guys. I'm sorry." Right back into their arms.
Oh, you started the Q course. Did you have IUW?
Yeah. We are actually one of the first ones to do that. So they hadn't figured out like rationing food and stuff. They left it in control of the G base. So depending on what lane you went, IUW kids didn't get to eat. Like you were starving like everybody else was. So you could get like a surreal look into what the Q course was like. We're like, this is fucking awful.
And that's right away. I mean, because the G thing is right away, and
It was nice because it gives you
it
you get to see what the U in 15 months looks like. So you got to see that team walk in, and you're like, that's gonna be me. Like these dudes look miserable. Like they just walked, however many clicks to the G base. But like you see them set up, all the shit you have no knowledge about, you're watching them do as a team. So like I love that part.
forgot about that. I forgot about that so much until you just said that. And when were the gates? Because we in 2013, I don't know if the gates were after you went to Sage to be a G or before. Somebody will hopefully hit me in the comments but man, dudes were dropping left and right during the gates because nobody was ready for them. When were they for you? Was it after being a G or before?
I feel like we did basic ones before you were a G. Like
Okay.
it's like your 5 mile, your ruck, like nothing super hard. Because our language wasn't after the Q either. It was still like middle of it. So it was IUW, but yeah, I'd have to look at a fucking piece of paper to even see what the phases were.
IUW made ruined so many people's lives, in my
Yeah, but
opinion.
like I said, it's such a cool insight. Like to be outside looking in, they don't even these dudes don't even know who you are. They think they're just other because we hadn't done this before. The guys graduating didn't have an IEW, so they thought we were just other G's and shit. When they found out we're like, no, we're brand new Q course students. This is phase one. They're like, that's fucking awful.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool as showing up. They ship you out to the woods, and we didn't really have anything to do except just watch everything that was going on because there's nothing else at all. You didn't have a phone, and you didn't
You
have
weren't really
anything
you
else.
weren't really like part of the G base. You know what I mean? Because you're not contracted. You don't know the scenario. You're just kind of bodies
Oh,
milling
we didn't know
around.
shit,
Yeah,
man.
that's what I'm saying.
A fucking scenario. You didn't know shit, jack shit.
You're just walking in. You're just a body. So you really got to be able to focus on everything going around.
Yeah, yeah, I remember ours. Yeah, it's kind of a sad story, but yeah, the one dude that was on our lane, Michael Mantenuto from that movie Miracle.
Mhm.
He was in the movie Miracle, and he was graduating. He was going through Sage when we went through. He went to first group as well. He ended up killing
I,
himself in
yeah, no, I remember
2017.
that. I remember him going through the
Yeah,
course.
yeah, he was a big deal. That was one of the he was a fucking stud too, man. A really sad story, but Yeah, I remember fucking sitting out there and them telling stories and him telling stories about the hockey team and the movie and shit. And we're just, I thought it was the coolest thing. Oh, man, I forgot about that. Fuck. It comes and goes, the different parts of the course. And all I do is talk about special operations stuff and I forget stuff. So IUW, and then you go into, did you guys do language after that or SUT?
We did. I know one of our hard gates was at the end of language. Trying to think if we did SEER. I think SEER was after language. I think it was language for 6 months, and then SEER, whatever the other 2 week course of weird shit. I have no idea.
No worries. The course, it flops around so much and things change.
I don't
And
know
and
if you had when we were in the queue. They said you couldn't graduate the queue without an associate's degree. So if you didn't have an associate's, they told us we couldn't graduate. So while we're in 6 months of language, we're all taking 6 to 8 college classes online, so we could have our associates done by the time we graduate. Turns out you didn't
nope.
need your associates to graduate. They just told us that, so everyone was just miserable trying to fucking figure out college work because we all joined the army not to do that, and now we're taking language and college.
Who was telling you this? Was it your TAC or your
Yeah, no, it was like SWIC was like when we did one of the briefs, they're like, here's your access to do whatever it is at Fayetteville Tech Community College. We'll get you guys all signed up, get you your classes, then you'll be good to go.
what a weird time in the course. IUW was such a weird fucking thing. Mm. And now they say the course itself is harder, but back then they kept changing, they kept moving things around and trying to figure shit out because and rightly so. They had to double the size of the force really um, over the course of the GWAD. So whatever,
I mean,
we can look
we got
back
our
and say it was
entire
stupid, but
like fifth group disbanded their whole like fourth battalion into teams, and then turned into like a specialty battalion of 6 teams.
well, yeah, they've got the Jeds and doing all kinds of shit. I don't even know what they do with
We had
it.
a whole other
Whatever.
battalion. They just like dispersed into teams because we didn't have enough people.
Yeah, yeah. They stood it up and then it didn't really work how they wanted it to, but whatever. That's a command decision I wasn't involved in or ever even thought about. But so you get through the course, you kind of run through what's it like getting your beret, and do you kind of know what that means by now? By the time you get your beret, do you know what you're getting yourself into?
Yeah, I mean, there's enough downtime with whoever your TAC and instructor is. There's enough time around other Green Berets doing the same shit that you hear enough stories. At that point, I'm a little more responsible, so I'm actually googling movies, stories, shit that what it's like to be a fucking special forces guy, like what it means. And I was like, all right, well, I didn't know shit about this. Like I know who John Wayne is at this point. Like I'm good, but no, it's surreal. I mean, donning the tambray, that was something. But like I know what every person in regiment's like. They're all young, they're all fit. I'm one in a million. When you go to SF, like everyone's so fucking different, and for everyone to come together, whoever the fuck you are, whatever body shape you are, everyone did the same shit, and you all have different backgrounds and things you bring to the team. Like it's yeah, those we'll use the word magical because like you can't really describe that little part. I can't.
The course is a marathon, right? And you got to have a why to hang on for that 2 years you're in the course. What was keeping you going and from phase to phase? Were the guys around you or just the motivation or was it end state or what were you going for?
I mean, my end state was still to do the walk at that point. You know what I mean? Like
Still focused on that?
yeah, at this point,
Did you know what they did? Like, did you, because
so
you
that's
worked with
all
them in
I
Ranger
knew
Battalion.
was kind of from
Okay.
battalion. We worked with them a lot, so I saw what they did. It's just an older, more mature, way more physically fit as far as endurance goes. And I was like, that seems pretty fucking cool. Like, especially after watching movies and reading enough books, I'm like, that's the job. If I'm going to be the best at what I'm currently doing, like that's it. So that was always on my mind. Like it was a 200-meter goal, but it was also a 20-meter goal. Like everything I did was to build towards that.
So going into group, that was one of the things on your mind was a stepping stone to get there.
Yeah, and I have the Ranger Regiment background, so Like I know what it's like to be a real new guy. You know what I mean? Like if guys on a team want to be like, "Oh, you're the new kid, you're gonna do like dumb shit." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna do that." I didn't really play the game a lot of like the dumb new guy tasks. Like I'll sit there, I'll shut the fuck up, and I'll give my input if you ask. But like I'm not gonna do like the private shit. Like I'm a little grown for that bullshit.
Yeah, some of that's just messing with you because that's how it's always been, and every team is different, and especially on op tempo. And it sounds like, or you had said, you showed up and went. Sergeant Major went, "How do you feel about Ranger School?" What?
Yeah, I didn't even go to a
Oh,
team. You know what I mean? Like I didn't go to the B team to get selected. It was you have 14 days to report to fucking Benning. So I never made it past the fucking sergeant major's office. Just literally turned around, grabbed my bags, and left.
he probably had that note on his desk and was like, "Man, I gotta find somebody to send to Ranger School here." And then you walked in and went, "Oh, this is easy."
You when we graduated the course, and you said where you're going, the sergeant majors was there, and like they had a little, they get to see like what which soldier they're about to get. And like he saw me right then. He looked at my shoulder, and he was like, he knew. Like he probably started my packet on my graduation day. So when I pulled up, it was already ready to go.
Because you had a scroll, but you didn't have a tab.
Yep. I had a deployment scroll, just no tab.
Yeah. Maybe it was helping you round out the trifecta there.
And honestly, if I hadn't have gone right then, I never would have fucking gone.
No,
Like once I got
no.
older, I wouldn't have gone.
Yeah. Fifth group, I think you're the most, from talking to the guys, I could be wrong, but I think you're the most apt to go in fifth. And then third is second. Seventh is also up there, but then 10th and first drop off significantly.
Yeah, no, we had
Uh,
at fifth, we had full teams. Everyone had a tab.
yeah, not us. No, no. But a lot of that's op tempo and things like that, and the ability to go. Sometimes that's not a thing, and team sergeant will make that decision. Or in your case, sergeant major. So, hey, fuck, you're going. Uh, how was it?
Uh, Mine was because they obviously know who you are, so everyone knew. Like the instructors know like they know your MOS next to your name. So even though you have no rank or anything, that they know who the fuck you are. I got treated pretty well, man. I helped them fix a lot of projector issues and shit during the course. Like,
Fucking nerd.
yeah. But when I would do my evals, he'd be like, yo, 20 feet behind the tree, there's a white monster and a dip. So I had white monster and dip my entire range of school. And it was glorious.
Are you did you graduate as an E5 or an E6?
5. And I got my
Five.
6.
So
I had to do the board right when I got to back to group, did the board.
back to group. So you went through Ranger School as a scroll as a long tab E5,
I'm
and
only, again, I'm
but
21, 22, like young 20s at this point.
child.
Yeah, looking back at it, terrifying to know I did all this.
Yeah, here, let me sum this back up here. 2 combat deployments, RIP, Ranger Battalion, Selection Q course, long tab, E5, at Ranger School, all within 5 years.
Yeah, I think I was 25 by the time I had everything.
And then you get your Ranger tab back to, so you're an E5, Ranger tab, long tab, combat deployed, coming back to 5th group. They couldn't have fucked with you that much at that point.
And they fucking tried, and that's why I was like, I'm not fucking playing this game. Like, we can throw hands. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not bothering you. Leave me the fuck alone. I'll be a good new guy, I promise.
Hey, some people say it's necessary, but at that point, and you're still, but self admit, I mean, numbers wise, you're still a very young guy. Did you feel like a young guy?
When I got to group, I still felt pretty young. I'd say probably my 4th deployment is when I started to like, oh, my body kind of hurts. I was probably 27, 28.
Yeah. A lot of miles on there.
Yeah, we were a fucking overlanding team. So my team sergeant did weekly extremely long fucking runs of rocks every week. He won't do it by himself, so he made us do it to keep him accountable. So yeah, there's a lot of fucking miles in these things.
That's the gig, right? You know, and it's all team sergeant dependent and rotation dependent on what you're going to do. And he, because fifth group at that time was just constantly rotating in and out. And so you guys, what was your op tempo like at group after you got back from Ranger
I mean,
school?
it was supposed to be 6 months on, a year and a half off, or whatever their fucking 1 to 1.5 ratio, whatever the fuck they called it. No, I think it was 6 months on, a year off. But you put the training cycle into that, the lead up to the deployment, like you're not getting that much downtime. We had some time to go to schools, get that out of the way, whatever we needed. But then the fucking training cycle will start right back up.
How'd that work for your family life?
It was fucking awful. But she was used to the Ranger Regiment stuff. So like she was used to 3 on, 3 off, if that. Yeah. So the Q course, that's the most time we'd ever spent together. And it was a lot because we're so used to being apart so often. So like as soon as I got to the Q, it was going all right. Once I got to group, I think we made it like a year, and then we're like, this just ain't working. So then I became like a single 25-year-old at fifth group.
Just a fucking stud, 25-year-old stud unleashed on the population of Clarksville.
Literally. Yeah. Good
All
time.
right. All up to that point, pretty physically demanding. There's a lot of downtime in the course. And we had spoken about, you pretty heavily putting them away towards the end of your career. When did that start?
I mean, I didn't really drink before the army, honestly. I probably started drinking when RIP happened, but I was always
Yeah,
gaming. So like when I'm gaming and streaming, I can knock back a 24 rack in that 8-hour period pretty easy. I just didn't realize I was putting down so much. So I mean I did that from like 2008 to 2022, 21.
it goes by fast,
They said
doesn't
my
it?
liver and kidney were perfect. But when I went to that big thing in Boston, I was like, all right, you guys are the pros here. You can see everything.
Yeah, it's tough for people to, you know, come to terms with that in Ranger Battalion or in group or whatever, if you're succeeding still at a high level, you're fine.
Yeah.
You can just keep drinking more and
Quit
more. And
throwing
as
up
long
on
as
your
you're,
runs in the morning.
yeah,
People were like, "You're all right." Like, yeah, I'm fine as long as you're performing. They don't give it. They don't care.
because everybody else is going through it too. And whether it's, problems at home or problems on deployment or stuff you've seen, uh, self-medicating. And as long as say you're good, it's okay, man. Whatever.
Fine.
I
As long as
mean,
there's no performance issues or no like domestic charges and shit that comes up on the blogger, you're doing just fine.
so status quo, because I mean, Rangers, everything's competition, and that includes getting hammered on the weekends. So
Yeah,
you just kind of continued that through the course and into group, and no slowing down.
yeah. I mean, the competition thing wasn't so much because the team life, you're not really competing. Like we had a 1,000-pound club board. That's the extent of what we did.
Yeah, strong team, fit team, everything fits into there. But in the team room, it's like the 13th member of the team is the beer fridge, right?
I mean, that thing's taken. We take better care of that thing than we do ourselves.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. It's well documented. All the stickers go on the team fridge. It's fully stocked.
There's
And
things
that's
like your monthly dues are on there. Like that fridge has everything you need.
I remember we're at battalion one night. This is battalion, and they're getting ready to deploy, and all the fucking officers are deep, deep in thought and typing. And I go up to the AS3, and I was like, "Hey, sir, I just wanted to let you know the beer fridge is out of beer." And he stopped everything. He stood up and he said, "Listen up, everybody!" And he made everybody in that room in the S3 give me $20 so I could go to the PX and fill up the beer
Yeah,
fridge.
it doesn't matter who you
And
are. You still contribute to the fridge.
yeah,
You cannot
and this is
drink
all
at
the
all.
staff
You're still
officers and
putting something in
everything.
that fridge.
You're still putting it in there, and that's a I don't know. It is detrimental to us, but it's definitely a needed social aspect of things. There's some positives and negatives. Obviously, it ruined my life, but hey, maybe everybody else will do better with it than I did. So live that rough life in fifth group. What are you thinking about it while you're going through it?
Honestly, we're just so busy that I don't feel like I was thinking about anything minus, you know, being cleared to deploy, getting your all the little language recertifications, all the shit that leads up to the training cycle and deploying. I was just so focused on that. I I definitely lost sight of my long term goal just because I was very comfortable, being in group. But yeah, and then the dog stuff happened. And I kind of got super motivated back into the world of the military because that was just something so different that I've never done before. Like this is awesome.
You get
I mean,
you got sent to the kennel.
yeah. So my buddy Todd and I, we had been at fifth 2 years maybe, but we were the senior echoes that hadn't gone to SWIC. So we both got pulled for SWIC and then did a drug deal with the kennels. Go to the kennels, that counts as your SWIC time. So we both headed over there instead.
Have you had any prior canine experience before that, or is it just
Absolutely
something that
not. I
appealed
mean,
to you?
Regiment, we had dogs, but in 2008, they were psychopaths. Like nothing like what our dogs are like now. They were just bite
What do you
driven.
What do you mean?
I feel
What
like
do you mean?
it was more bite focused than bomb back then. Like the dogs in Regiment were just psychos. Man, they're going through walls to eat people. A group, Timo will chase someone and bite someone, but like his main focus was the odor. Like just a different. They're much calmer than what I was used to.
The same type of dog, same kind of
Yeah,
dog breed.
yeah. I think the program just changed, over the years of like what was more important.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even the focus of Ranger regiments is
We
100%
go to the
DA.
same dog school. We get the same, like when I went to the dog course, a bunch of regiment guys, and SF guys, and then like a Marsoc guy. I don't know. Something changed in the program, and like that 15 years that just the whatever changed in purpose they were finding the most important.
So, how do you think because you said you got remotivated. Why did that happen? Were you just like, this is new, or this is
Yeah,
a new
I
exciting
mean
sort of
group.
thing?
It's a regiment. Your training cycle's the same exact shit every time. Airfield seizures, jumping in, hopefully not breaking a leg, taking the airfield, whatever. Group same way. You know what I mean? Like you have your language research, you have all your little weird shit, you have your training cycle, you deploy, you do it all again. Yeah, I feel like I was just hitting like a plateau of not learning anything. When the dog thing happened, yeah, that's a world that I didn't know anything about. So it was really exciting just to do something for once that I had no knowledge in again.
Did the well? How did the? Because you're going back, you did 2 trips with fifth group before you went to the kennel.
Yep.
Man, I mean, you're back and forth, and even then the Q course, and then back and forth, and back and forth.
And as a
So,
handler, I deployed with my same battalion that I
okay.
was from. So I was still deployed with the exact same guys. I just had a dog. So I was just pretty much the extra echo on their team with a little furry guy.
Okay. So you get over to kennel. What was that like? I mean, did you feel reinvigorated with your career at this point?
Yeah, I did. I didn't know there was like a stigmatism to the handlers at that point. It was a lot of times like guys are getting out medically, didn't want to do something, so they kind of went to the kennels to like live out their life until it was retirement time. So I feel like a lot of the people there didn't want to live the dog world, if that makes sense. Like, but as I was there, it definitely filtered out to like people that you could tell like they love dogs, they love the concept, they wanted to learn, and yeah, just something new. Being surrounded by people who are also motivated to learn and grow, with their new dog was Yeah, that was a fresh change.
What is it about the kennel that you love so much?
Um, it's just you and the dog. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't do the certifications and shit, you don't deploy. Right? Like it's pretty simple. There's a standard that you have to pass with you and your dog to be able to deploy. I team one, I crush it. We deployed. You're by yourself. You know what I mean? There's yeah, you're under whatever team you get attached to, but like really you're just an extra MOS. Plus you have a dog if they need it. So like I really just doubled down on the echo work. Anything that I knew that their junior echo didn't, anything I could help out. Like it was cool to be able to advise someone else, like make their life easier, but also like I have a dog. I get to go do whatever I want. I go for runs, we work out together. Like there's no micromanaging of what I'm doing because they don't know the dog world. Like you're supposed to be the subject matter expert on it. So they just kind of just leave you alone.
So you were attached to the team and you helped out when you wanted to, but you didn't really report to them, or who was
Yeah,
who was in charge of you?
the kennel master, but he's in the states, right? So whoever the team sergeant's ultimately who's in charge of you. So it was sometimes I worked out with them, sometimes I didn't. Like if I could see the echo was confused or like something on the SDN, like yeah, I'm there to help. Like I have that knowledge, I'm confident with it, but they weren't really expecting you to do anything.
Was the Echo course pretty easy for you, being technologically angled your whole life, or was it just something you still had to work at?
Yeah, it was pretty simple. I mean, even like the Colex, all you're doing is carrying a big rucksack, right? To do a very simple addition problem. Like you carry it 10K to do 2 plus 2. Cool. Send the shot. Pack up everything. Go another however far distance. 2 plus 2. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Very simple, just far away and heavy. So like it's like there wasn't fine tuning. There was nothing crazy about the shots. It was very simple. It's just you have to pick up your entire livelihood and take it with you every time you want to do it.
Yeah, that is the one thing the Echo said. It wasn't that bad except for the weight.
Yeah, the way I used to say is like you're showing up for like a math test, right? But you have to carry your desk, your utensils, your paper, your chair, set it up, take your one question on your test, pack all your shit up, and then carry it to the next school and the next town over and do the same thing.
No, I'm good. I'm good with my Charlie course. Whatever. I had a great time, and it sounds like I didn't have as hard a time as everybody else. But hey, good for you guys. That's fun.
Go team.
I built a house, and what else did I do? Set off some explosions, and
I fucking wish I had built a house in the Q course. It'd be really coming in handy right now.
it would. I did. Yeah. I did that. I wired up, did some electrical, poured some concrete, did some other things. Um, and we never got messed with one time, not one time. And I found this out recently. Yeah, because if they were fucking us up, uh, we were dealing with real explosives where real people could really get blown up. And I just clicked that click the other day. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe that was the reason we never got fucked with.
Nobody wants you breaching with 2 hours of sleep and muscle failure.
Yeah, no, yeah. So, but anyway, I say that I brought that up because you're downrange and you're like, oh, if the Echo needed help, did you keep up with your Echo skills while you went over the kennel?
Yep. It'll for some reason the very basic task of like networking printers and stuff just eludes everyone's brain. So it's like it's
Everybody.
little things like that where it's like I that's just ingrained in my brain. So I could take if I could take it off your plate and I can set up your whole SDN and your printers to network all your shit, it makes their life a lot easier to actually do, fills and cross fucking teaching everything. Like I just try to make it easier.
How did that help your relationship with the team?
Uh Honestly, the teams I work with were pretty chill. Never really had any bad blood that I was aware of. I'm sure there's bad blood somewhere because I'm not the easiest to get along with. I'm kind of cocky and stubborn, but
At least you're aware.
I've been told enough times over the years that I had to become self-aware.
Do you think that's changed at all now that you're out?
Yeah, maybe.
Why?
I don't know. I'm 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 pretty confident in a lot of things I do, and I try to do as much research in something before I say it, so I don't fucking come off wrong and be put in that situation. So yeah, I'd probably
See, you do research now, but in the past, no research.
no. I learned. I set myself for so many failures that I somehow lucked through and passed just on knuckle dragging. I'll never do that again.
When Okay, so how does so you do the deployments with the dog, very rewarding, I assume, because you've got a best friend that can't talk, that cares more about you than you care about yourself, following you around. It's got to be great. I mean, I love having my dogs,
When they
and
told me
they're
I got to
idiots.
retire him, I was like, "There's no chance I would not take this guy home." Like he's a nightmare. Don't get me wrong. Like he's definitely calmed down this last year, but he was a fucking psychopath for like 6 years.
And this is Malinois or
Yeah,
Shepherd?
yeah, he's a Mal.
Mal.
He's just a little fluffy.
Where? How many years at this point, when you came out of the kennel, are you at?
I think I left in 18 or 19.
2018. Okay. How do you feel about your time in group?
I mean, wouldn't say I did anything spectacular. I loved the time. Like I loved the concept. I loved the team. The deployments were whatever, training whatever dudes to do whatever, then going to the country next to it and training those dudes to do the exact same thing I trained the country we're looking at to do. So that part was weird. But yeah, I mean, I loved it. Definitely, like I'll say there's pros and cons to regiment and group, but I definitely got more pros coming from group at the end of the day.
Are you happy with what you did there?
Yeah, I am. It's I don't get asked that very often, but like I felt like I was a good echo. I never had any times come up that I couldn't fix or get an answer to like fix something. I don't feel like I failed at anything there, so I'll take it.
How does the opportunity to play video games for the military present itself to a Green Beret?
So I was already getting close to getting out. Um, I was getting by end of the kennel time. I was going to go green to gold. I want to be a vet for the army. Basically, I already had my green to gold paperwork signed by everybody. Like I was a month away from transferring over to Clarksville, just going to college, and fucking that. I don't know if it was Drew. So Drew found that knew about it before I did, and like I saw the email and I'm like, yeah, okay, right. Like we're not gonna go play video games for the army. Like USASOC would never let me do that. Drew hits me up. It's like, hey man, you see this? I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, we're gonna go ahead and try that. I was like, oh, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and try it. So we kind of put our name in for it. I get a call from USASOC Sergeant Major and 2-star or 3-star, and they're like, we heard you want to do this. I'm like, look, I'm getting out, right? If this is an option, I would rather go do that than go to college. My group sergeant major was like, fuck no, absolutely not. I was like, cool, thanks. That then USASOC called, asked how I wanted to do it, brought me into the office with my sergeant major. We're all in the same VTC. And he's like, do you support this guy? And he's like, absolutely. If this soldier wants to go play video games, I support it. I'm like, bro, you okay? Yeah. So USASOC was like, this is actually great with our, RSOF 2021, whatever their quota expectations they set. They're like, this will
Oh,
be
I
good for
remember that
recruiting.
shit. What was that? RSOF 2025 or which is now 2025.
Yeah, they don't exactly. They said yes, and I was like, okay. And they're like, we're gonna send you to USREC. You're under their command, but if anything happens that's stupid, call us. It was a trial period. We'll pull you out of there ASAP. I was like, cool. USREC wanted a Green Beret Ranger Regiment guy on paper. That makes sense. But then putting me in this billet with no left to right limits and no one that's ever conversed with a fucking Green Beret, like they had no idea what to do with me. They're like, hey, on the weekends, you can't go out and drink. Like they can't be on social media. I'm like, I I can't go to a bar and have dinner and a drink. They're like, no. So like it started there. They started hounding everything I did and trying to do whatever. And I was like, there's no guidelines I'm breaking here, right? Like there's no left or right like limits at all. So it was just a nonstop fight with USEREC higher. It was like battalion, battalion and brigade command. We're not pleased. The numbers, I was crushing the numbers game. Like astronomically compared to any other recruiting, any of that. Like I had the clicks, which is what they wanted. But they're like, you have to cut your hair, you can't drink, you can't dip, like all these like weird little things. And I'm like, you can't make that decision for me.
Is there something playing in the
Yeah, what's
background?
that sound? Got it. Will you turn that off? Or headphones? Yep. I saw you check your ear and I was like, is my phone fucking playing?
I'm looking here too because I only put one in so I can hear. Oh man, I'm paranoid to the max. I recorded one last night, and I learned a valuable lesson about phone speakers versus headphone speakers, and which it came up fine. I got all the audio, but man, the speaker on your phone is sometimes better than these. And but I'm like I said, all this technology I'm learning all at the same time. I fuck up, and I hope my audience will allow me to grow and learn these things the hard
Yeah,
way.
the way I
But
have my mic set up is I can hear myself when I talk. When I'm streaming, I can tell like game audio, like how loud I am. So if I'm talking and there's something else in the house, it's gonna pick that up. So every
yeah,
time I was
well,
talking,
it sounds like it's canceling because when you're not talking, I can't hear anything.
correct.
But
Yeah,
I
there's
was
a
like,
noise
when
gate
you're
set up on the
talking,
mic.
what kind of mic you got? Is it like an SMB or Shure or something?
Electra Voice RE20.
Man,
I've had it
I
for
gotta get
I've had it for 7 years.
really. I use this Rode, um, and it's very good. And I like wireless. I like to be able to wave my arms down here in the basement, and I'm free. And I got my one. I wanted to look like Sean Ryan. He looks comfortable.
He does.
I
He does
don't.
both.
I don't. He just looks like, man, he's relaxed. And when you're relaxed, you can talk differently. When you're uptight, because I'll see people even in person, their shoulders are up like this. Where I just fuck, man, I don't give a fuck. Like, let's just
My
chill and
first
talk to a
my first
computer
couple
screen.
interviews when I was on the
Yeah,
esports team,
yeah.
like I was in soft my entire career. We don't talk to reporters and shit. It's like they
Don't
had me
talk shit.
blasting
Yeah,
in front of people. And I'm like I didn't know what to do. Like I'm like awkward. I'm like this is so bad. Literally,
like
my hand.
Ricky Bobby.
They're like, you can't put them in your pocket. I'm like, I have no idea what to do. This is weird to me. Ugh.
When you say USAREC didn't know how to deal with for lack of a better term, soft operator. What does that mean? Like, who are you reporting to? Are you reporting to somebody who is a recruiter their whole career?
Everyone there is a full time recruiter, regardless of what their MOS was before. They had all switched to like the 79 series or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, what's worse? So my team, company level, it was us and the CrossFit team, right? So I had a bunch of fucking psycho athletes on one side, and then my gaming kids on the other, but under the same first sergeant, PL, all that shit. Coolest command you could ever ask for. Like nothing but supportive. Like they get it. They're doing the CrossFit thing. We're doing that. It's just once you get to the older generation and you're talking social media, you're talking recruiting, the 60-year-old dudes in charge are probably not going to be the most savvy or understand what we're trying to do. So there's always a fight between like realistic production of things and like what they wanted us to do. Like they just wanted us to run around with iPads to get people's quota information so they could send them recruiters. We're over here trying to play professional video games and like show off the Army's talent. And there's just a very blurred line on us being able to compete versus showboating around.
What is the commander's intent for you playing video games for the Army?
The way my buddy pitched the esports team to General Muth, it was supposed to be showcasing, soldiers' backgrounds. Like, yes, you're a soldier, but like we also play video games. We also have weird hobbies, shit like that. But not only do we have them, we're very good. So we wanted to be able to showcase us going to events, competing, placing, And then people asking questions, military questions, we can answer. We're not recruiters, but we've been in the military, at least 3 years at that point. Like someone's got a story that'll resonate with somebody. He left, that general, and whoever took over was like numbers, numbers, numbers. Everyone's in line, perfect haircuts, no drinking, no alcohol, no tobacco anywhere. Soldiers don't do that. I was like, you're not showing a very truthful representation of what we're actually like. Like they want to relate to you because of the other shit we do. Don't I don't know. It's never ended.
So you've got 5 combat deployments, E7, 6 combat deployments, E7, going over there, and them telling you you can't be drinking or going out.
On the weekend.
That's
Like this wasn't
like,
even
what do
like
you mean? Like you're living off post. You're like,
like I
why?
didn't
What is? How does that make sense?
it didn't someone was taking screenshots of everything on social media. Like he wasn't wearing a mask at this restaurant because it was during COVID. I'm like, it was dinner. I can't eat with a mask on. Or I went down to Florida to do the Murph with like the actual one with all those guys. Got it approved on leave by the commander, everything. Then they shit on me for going out to the bar with SEALs and shit during like after the Murph. I'm like, I have a signed leave form saying I could be here. Now you're telling me that I can't put it on social media because it's during COVID. Like once that happened, and it wasn't just me. They were doing it to the CrossFit team too. It's like everyone company and down was feeling this. It's just I was the bigger name on the esports team, so I got it up for us.
Okay, and let's try and like straw man, steel man this here. Was any of this told to you? Like this is what's expected of
Correct.
you?
That's what I said. I didn't get left or right, like nothing. There was it. Even without that, I would never have said like nothing ethical, nothing moral, like nothing bad was posted or done. Everything was within guidelines of everywhere in the military. It was just some commander with a fucking psycho trip saying you can't do this shit.
And that's in your free time. Is this towards? No, where is this? How long did you spend on the esports team?
About a year.
A year.
Yeah, right
Okay, so that
about.
was 2020,
Yeah, somewhere in
21.
there, 21.
Okay.
And that was almost immediate. Like it was, they made me make a TikTok, right? Like they're like, hey, you're gonna make all these socials. I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. Like I have a fake Instagram that I post dogs on deployment on. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing on it. So I made all of that, made a TikTok. TikTok. I had my cry top on that I cut the sleeves off, and they tried to hit me for modifying the army regulation uniform, blah 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 blah. They literally tried to like give me an actual trouble for that. I was like, you made me make this without any left or right limits. You can't just shit on me on the back end when I actually didn't do anything wrong. There was a lot of
It's
that.
gotta be weird, because the difference in age from the people that you're the demographic that you're going after to the people in overall in charge of this is what, 30, 40, 30 years?
That's what we tried to explain. I was like, you have 60-year-old civilians at USREC or PAOs trying to relate to what 13 to 19-year-olds gaming competitively in the like FPS world. Yeah,
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
How much do you still think about that, how all that went down, and try and justify their side of it or your side of it or the program itself?
I get asked the question a lot. Just do I miss it? Did I enjoy what I put into it? I think about it a lot, just how wrongly they went about me as a whole. Like I had to call USASOC and get them to drop me orders because they were trying to bar me from reenlisting. Like there's a lot of shady shit that wasn't signed off on and like my company wasn't even aware of. You know what I mean? Like if it just would have been under any other umbrella than USREC, I think it would have been one of the best things in the military and still be like that.
Because you said you didn't fall under the world class athlete program, which had all this shit worked out, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like I reached out to Nate because I know he had done uh the bobsledding shit out of Colorado. And I was like, bro, everything that I'm doing now, like you pretty much have done. So I hit him up for a lot of advice. And he's like, bro, it's a shit show. He's like, there's no real laws or like left or right limits on a lot of the stuff we do. but under WCAP or whatever, like they actually had some sort of guidelines. We had nothing. Everything was reactive, and it was just a nonstop shit show.
What were you getting from other Green Berets? Because the first time so I didn't have any idea who you were at all. I did see your picture playing on a controller with a fifth group flash on once, and it came up in one of the Facebook pages. And dude, old guys were upset that like a Green Beret is playing video games for the military. And I went, I can see that. That seems like the times or whatever. It's recruiting or whatever. What were you getting from established Green Berets that are the older generation?
So we would go to events like AUSA, all the big things with our big esports trailer to showcase it. And yeah, there's older, crusty, sergeant majors, retired, whatever, that had a lot to fucking say to me. They're like, you should be back on a fucking team, not playing video games. This is bullshit. I'm like, got it. And I didn't used to wear the beret when I was gaming. And the sergeant major was like, honestly, you probably should. It kind of shows a little rebellious side, but also like you're still in the army. I was like, all right. So the jersey and the shorts were considered a military uniform. So that's why I wore the beret with it when I was doing shit. Because Nate and his fucking bobsledding shit had his beret on in a picture. It's all American and everything. I was like, I can do it if he can do it. So I started,
Just trolling people.
but the sergeant major was like, nice. This is great for photos, Mike. I feel like an idiot. Thanks.
Seems like a double edged no, God, a quid pro not I don't know the right term here, but they're like, oh, let's do this for pictures, but then also, oh, we're gonna restrict you on this side of things. So did you feel like they're just making this shit up as they go along, and
The
then
entire
once
thing was
command
made up.
pushed back on it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like the entire thing was them spitballing on the desk of new ideas and giving us as guinea pigs to try it, and then shitting on us if it didn't go well.
Because now there's a regulation. My buddy just sent me the social media official SOCOM regulation. Right? It's they've refined it a few, but some of that or none of that was in place when you were doing this.
It probably
They're all
became in place
making up.
because of the shit show I started on the way out.
Well, that and now soldiers are making so much content in uniform, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Yet that's a weird one, and the reason I did it was because it was in my personal cries. You know what I mean? Like everything I was doing was not military issued or regulation shit for that reason, because I didn't want to get picked apart by the army saying like you can't modify your uniform, you can't make TikToks in your uniform. So I was like, this is my personal clothing. It was black multicam.
The regular army has a problem with cries. And as one of my guests said, you know what they can do? I'll just
Photo selection.
and no, what is it? It's like that Woody Harrelson where he's dabbing with the $100 bills in Zombieland, or you can just say, "I'll just cry in my cries." I'm just cries and cries. So,
Let
but
me. I'll
uh,
make my sleeves even shorter. Be right back.
yeah, right. Sun's out, guns out. All right. So seems to be mishandled, and right, the first time you're going to do something, it's going to be the way. What do you think their view of you is? Because you have your position and how you saw things. They're seeing things through a completely different lens. What do you think they thought about all this? And because you're not the only one, right? How many other gamers are there?
So we had at large that would get paid like TDY basically to go events, but at Knox as like your full time shit, I think there was 20 maybe. But again, these are whatever MOSs. There's not a lot of infantry guys, so that the demographics are a little different as far as like personality traits. So I'm sure they saw me as fucking this rebel, long hair, fucking reckless, goes out with Navy SEALs on the weekend to get hammered. Like I'm sure even coming in, they didn't have a great view of me. Minus my interviews were probably pretty good because I was playing by the rules.
Did you honestly give them any reason to think any of that?
You know, I don't think so. I did make a tweet telling someone to put. Yeah, I did make a tweet against a public figure that probably shouldn't have AOC. She tried to take the esports team to Congress, saying we were recruiting and grooming young children to die for brown man's oil. That was her. That was her case. Which, me being the face of the program at that time, came directly at me. So the army did nothing. Like when this was all going on, like no statements, no anything. So like I may have made a tweet that stayed up for like 4 hours that the army saw. But besides that, no, I was just myself.
It only takes one oh shit to get on the bad
The tweet
list.
was up for like 2 or 3 hours. I got a lot of emails saying don't do that. Ugh.
That's got to be weird to have a member of Congress make something that pretty much falls at your feet.
I'm talking death threats, a lot of shit. They were looking at my family on all social medias saying like you're a terrible person. How dare you groom children? I'm like, I'm not even a recruiter. Like I just play video games and they're using my my likeness to do what they do.
I just want to play video games, man. I just want to play.
I just wanted a couple chill years, play video games, chase college, do good things.
Everything gets distorted. That's too bad. That's too bad because that probably really because officers at that level very political, recruiting command, and that probably really soured everybody's tastes towards the program
Yeah,
from all
the
angles.
PAOs. Someone told me the PAO is not there for you. You know, it's there for the commander. It's that person's job is to look out for the commander, and I get that. But they just went such a bad route about either discussing it with me or talking to me ever. No one talked to me. They just went behind the door, sent emails, said all kinds of shit, dragged my name, and when I heard about it, obviously I'm going to be a little upset. I went to USAREC in uniform in posh, like perfectly fine, because I tried to call the PAO, she wouldn't answer, and they're like, the security wouldn't let me in the building. They're like, oh, she's on lunch. I'm like, oh, and then I stood there and I was like, oh wait. They're like, you're gonna have to leave the building. I'm like, open door policy? Like I can't go talk to him. They're like, no, she's scared for her life. So she sent an email to my commander saying I was at the building threatening her and all this shit. I'm just like, oh,
Were you threatening
no.
her?
I was like the most calm I've ever been. I just wanted to talk to her about something I heard that was said on like that she posted. That was it. But she knows she said it. And then when I showed up, she was fucking terrified. And I've never been a mean person. You know what I mean? Like I laugh a lot. I giggle. I like to make people laugh. So like it was so out of pocket. And that's when USASOC was like, fuck this, and pulled me out.
Okay, so that's the end. So let me. I'm hearing this all as well because I'm going to assume that I'm like every other Green Beret. I saw that there's a fifth group dude playing video games. Oh, good for him. That was my thought. Good for him. And then I went the fuck about my life, and I didn't hear anything else out of it. So I'm hearing all this for the first time. So it's interesting. So let me hopefully give what you did and went through a little more insight to the rest of the Green Berets that just went, oh yeah, I've heard of that. But so you try out. You were obviously very good before. And what was the tryout like to get onto this team that they haphazardly are throwing together?
So they do a deep dive of your socials, right? Because you're going to be representing the army in a new thing. So a lot of dudes, when they play video games, talk shit. A lot of dudes stream talking shit. So all those guys are disqualified immediately because you're going to be doing interviews, you're going to be playing live in front of people. The army's like, absolutely not. Me playing competitively, I was one of the only people recruited that has actually done this. Yeah, it was 15 years prior, but I'd still done it. So it's pretty easy, honestly. Like the whole Green Beret, all that bullshit. Like I was gonna make it either as a face of it or someone who could.
Were you the only one?
Yeah, like everybody else was super nerdy, and it was weird coming from Regiment, then SF, and then this. This is part of the army that I've never seen before in my life. Like,
yeah, you didn't. Yeah, so you went to RIP and RASP.
I've never been around
then
conventional
right to group.
military, and this was like the conventional military people that I've never really even knew existed.
Hmm. Interesting. So, as a senior E7, your first introduction to the Army is at the gaming interview. So you've been vetted. Okay, this guy's passable, and you go there. And I assume, yeah, I assume the same thing. Green Beret with a scroll shows up. We got to have this guy. So what's it like after that? And where's this at? How? Oh, Fort Knox. So you go
Yeah,
from
Knox.
Campbell to Knox.
Yeah,
Full
super easy.
PCS.
Couple hour drive, right? Over U-Haul. Um, I ended up living on base because the housing everywhere was trash, and I wasn't sure what kind of hours I was going to be, playing video games. Literally, we'd show up for PT. We did it with the CrossFit team, right? So I got all the nerds working out under these psychos. So I'm trying to create these like super nerds, you know what I mean? But they push themselves really hard. Like those kids from that first week to a month later, the PT changes was crazy.
So
Yeah,
you become a platoon sergeant then right away, and you have a first sergeant. So you're in charge. Now they just give you 20 people, and you're in charge now.
yeah. So I wasn't in charge. I was kind of like the weird E7 on the side while everyone else is doing shit because no one really told me what to do. They didn't really know how. Um, the E6 and E7 that were kind of in charge of the team know them really well. Super cool dudes. One was an MP, one was recruiter forever. But yeah, they pretty much left me alone. Like I'd show up and do any PT events or anything like that. And then once you get to the office, you're just at your little gaming station, headphones on, just gaming from 9 to whenever. Some of the younger kids didn't want to go back to their dorm room or whatever, so they would just game until like midnight, like in the office. Like those kids did not leave the gaming area.
Yeah, I understand. It's just crazy so imaginary life has now become real life in the military for this group of individuals.
They
And
are no longer doing their MOS. They are playing video games and working out.
all right, giddy
Right?
up, man.
More
Let's
power
get
to
plug
you,
me into
right?
the matrix. Like Neo getting the downloads of the martial arts. They're just plugged in. And is okay. There's a lot of different games you can play. Are you guys focusing on one over the other?
Yeah, so we had a team for every major title that's competed in. Um, I think we had 2 Fortnite guys, 5 or 6 League of Legends, couple Call of Duty, couple Apex. So it's pretty well rounded of the 20. Couple like fighting games guys.
How's the setup? Like no spare no expense or
I don't I think it came from a pool of money that no one knew what they were talking about, but the amount of money that they spent just on your computers and the monitors and the heist and mice, everything like that, it was there was no limit. Like the kids didn't want to go back to their own setup because the setup in the office was so much better than what they had.
I mean, if you're gonna do something, that's good to hear that they went top notch on that
They
instead of
couldn't have done anything
hamstringing
else.
guys.
Like on that side, it was the best I've ever played on.
I'm sure that right there will piss people off that they
Oh,
spent a
the amount of
shitload of
money that
money.
went into yeah. Yeah.
Did you see okay, so this is you might not have visibility on this, but did you see that amount of financial dedication from the military in other programs that they were doing as well?
I mean, like Regiment, there's really feel like
No, no,
oh
these ancillary programs like
no,
the
they
CrossFit
started up
guys you
this
said.
they just started up this hunting and fishing like wildlife group while I was still on the esports team. Wrote new boats, nice. There was no limit. So wherever this USREC pool of money is, there was no bottom. Like everything was top of the line, high end shit.
What?
They
Wait.
started this hunting and fishing outdoorsy group while the esports and the CrossFit team was going on. So these guys were just going out on their boat by the army, just fishing, literally. So when all the old guys see us playing video games, I'm like, hey guys, they actually do a hunting and fishing one too. And they're like, oh, that makes sense. That's not so bad.
I don't know what to say to that.
Mad that you never
Okay.
heard about it. Because when I heard about it, I was like, that's sick.
Hey man, I wanted to be on the Army bowling team.
See?
Bad. If I wouldn't have been a Green Beret, I was like, I was gonna try and go be in a bowl for the Army because I was
There's
pretty good.
there's a
So
dude I went to the Q course with that was like a Golden Glove boxer for the Army.
yeah, I mean,
He's a
my buddy,
fucking 18 Echo.
episode 22, Adam Klakowicz, he was won the championship in Europe, I think. He talked about that on the show on here. So he boxed a bit, and then he became a Green Beret. So
You remember
there's all
in the
this shit
queue
exists, but this blows me away.
when you got to fight each other in the queue, you got to call each other out?
No,
Oh, so we had that, and everyone kept calling this guy out who was a Golden Glove boxer before the fucking queue, and he was just one-hitting quitting people. Like, he would talk shit, and people would call him out, and he would just knock him unconscious.
there was very little break in the course for me. We were everything. They had kind of worked out the schedule, and it was go 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 go. 4-day weekends in between. Go 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 go.
Yeah,
There was
I
no
mean,
breaks.
we had
Um,
weeks of downtime before, like, because they were trying to figure out the phases still. So sometimes we
yeah,
had a solid amount of.
yeah. And it's weird because we're there at the same time, and they were moving shit around. I do remember though. Sidebar, they had at one point a nutritionist come in and talk to us about nutrition, and they fucking got up there and like lied to us about protein and creatine and stuff like that. And the one dude's in the crowd, and he's a nutritionist, like professional. He was a professional athlete and a nutritionist and shit. And he's like, "Hey, that's not true." And they like told him to shut the fuck up and stuff.
You'll listen to what we said. That what we say is law.
I was so mad I went to Taco Bell and had some dollar grillers after that. So
That sounds
fuck
good
them.
right now.
Man, oh, I miss those, man. Dollar grillers. Now everything's like $9. Anyway, all right, we got off topic there. I guess I got distracted by hunting and fishing team in the military. Okay, so humor me here. What other shit have we not heard about that the Army is paying for people to do to try and recruit people?
I mean, the CrossFit team, the strongman team,
I've heard of,
esports,
yeah.
and then the boat fishing one. I hadn't really heard of anything else. But I disconnected from them pretty fast once I left.
What did you think about those things when you found out they were a thing?
I mean, I get it. It's weird coming from like our world, the quiet professional side of things, right? But then when you talk to USOC command, they're like, yes, but also we still have recruiting efforts, right? So like if our teams are dwindling because we're not recruiting, it's not the lack of people wanting to do our job. It's the lack of us getting in front of people. So that was why their big push for me was like, let's get a fucking SF guy out here on the fucking front page of the Army, and maybe people want to hear his story and come to what he does. Like, I love it. Like, the fact that they did that too late and also let soldiers showcase what they're really good at, I feel like it's a good idea.
All right, so more on that. You're coming from group, quiet professional, right? Compound, secluded. How did you deal with you are military famous now?
I had a little help. My roommate at the time was his name's Josh, Sir Jumps a lot. So he was like the military face of social media, right? Like strongman guy doing fitness shows. He's a rigger, big Halo guy. Like he's the American soldier. So living with him, I got to at least experience it a little more of like the shit that he deals with. So like going through that without him, I would have been a lost cause, honestly. But I got to see the issues that he struggled with, the interviews that he got pushed to do, the social media that he has on every platform. So it didn't hit me as hard as it probably should, but it was still a lot going from no social media, no anything to interviews with Business Insider to getting called to Congress by AOC type shit. It was a lot.
That's yeah, that blows my mind. I'm not gonna get in. I'm not gonna deep dive into that one. That's not really my shtick. But it's got to be weird because it takes most guys years to shake that off and go. But now you're just forced to. What were they having you doing? So I mean, you're competing right in these because these competitions are already going on, and now the military's like, we want to play because they just want to get the 4 letters Army, in front of people as advertising, and the best way to do that is to be there, I assume, and having you guys there, and in whatever
So they
marketing
built
way.
a 40-foot semi. right? Put 8 gaming stations inside the semi. So that's what they would drive around to all these big events. Then they have us go with it and basically like a fucking circus ride or some shit. We just filter people in. They play video games. They ask us questions about our story, shit like that. And they get out. We do another 8 people. So that was 80% of what we did was travel around where the semi wherever it ended up, and then playing video games with random people.
I have to imagine that setup was extremely expensive.
Yeah, it was like the super expensive like Scorpion gaming chairs where the screens come down, and there was 8 of those. I'm like, and it was just for show. Like you can't do anything competitive on it. There's not enough like mouse space or shit like that. So it was literally just to drive around and be like, look what the army can do. And to get on it, you had to put your information in the iPad, which generated their QR, whatever the fuck for numbers.
Okay, so they're capturing email addresses, right? Basically, so they're doing recruiter shit. Teamed up with the civil affair, no, the psyop
A
guys,
little
and they're
bit.
like, how do we use this to our benefit to get more recruits and
Let's give
stuff?
them a green beret and make them play Call of Duty. That'll do it.
So while you're on this team, how good are you, and how good are the people you work with?
When we did the tryouts for Call of Duty, the team that beat me early in the rounds is a team that won the whole thing. So their whole team got sent to Knox. I didn't get picked as a player. I was basically like, if they needed a fill in for some reason, I could do it. If not, I'll just be the main time like streamer that is personable, but it's also competitive enough that it's not embarrassing.
So it was broken down into competitors and streamers.
Yeah, so there's like the teams that played, and then like 2 or 3 streamers.
Okay, obviously, you. So you're talking. I mean, and this is not disparaging. Most of the people you work with are super nerds, right?
Yes,
And you have a little bit more experience speaking, whether it be to officers or foreign nationals or indig or whatever the
correct.
fuck. So that kind of became your shtick.
Yeah. Anytime they wanted to, like I said, Business Insider would come in. They didn't really give a fuck about whoever it is playing Fortnite. They're like, let's talk to the fucking Green Beret guy and see what we can get him to say.
Were they trying to trip you up?
There, there was sometimes I got warned ahead of time by some other reporters, and I'm like, after listening to what some of the questions, it was definitely tailored to see what I would say. But also, I have no filter, so like they were
Well, you
left
have to have
limit.
some because you said you didn't talk a lot of shit.
Yeah, well, that's just because I did want to put it on the internet and me talking shit to a 12-year
Yeah.
old. So yeah, there's there was a couple statements I made that after I said it, I'm like, that one's gonna come back, but it never aired. The one they did was like pretty professional, and it was like to build up the esports team and like just the exposure. And I was really happy. I thought I was gonna get pretty fucked on one.
What does getting pretty fucked look like when you're on that team?
I mean, I made some comments about Syria that like
Oh
to
my God.
me or to anyone in our field would be very normal. But like once I thought about like random people seeing this, I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't say shit like that. I call it the Wild West and some other things because really it was the very beginning of the Syria thing. So there's not a lot of rules.
Okay. Well, they've got to get people to same thing. They're doing the same thing that the army was doing with you, getting people to read their stuff and clicks. And you're all just, I don't know. It's different, completely different. You're trying to get people into the force. All right. From your perspective or your point of view, did you make any Green Berets or make any soldiers from
I
what you were
honestly
doing?
made way more than I thought. So the biggest demographic they wanted me to chase was guys already in, right? Like, you're not going to come off the street, play video games, right? But they wanted me to get in front of soldiers and be like, this is my life on an ODA, or this is my life at Regiment. And there's a lot of inter service transfers that actually dropped their packets because of me, which I thought was fucking hilarious. I'm like, dude, I'm just playing video games. But they don't, if you don't get to talk to an SF guy normally, you don't really know what the life's like. You don't. So I definitely got questioned way more by people in than people enlisting. But I'd still get Instagram messages today. People are like, dude, I just made it through RASP, or I just made it through the Q course. Thank you. I'm like, all I told you was not be a bitch, dude. I didn't tell you anything crazy. I said, don't quit. Don't be a bitch.
Strong advice from a
It goes a
strong
long
man.
way, honestly.
If I'm done, if I want to give some real simple advice, I'm like, hey man, just make your back, your legs, and your grip really strong, and you'll be fine.
Man, just be an athlete and don't quit. Goes a long fucking way.
Yeah, that was the advice my first sergeant gave me down at Fort Sill. He's like, just don't quit. It's like, thanks, first sergeant. Thanks.
It sounds so simple, but if you think about it, you're not gonna. If you're an athlete, you're probably not gonna fail any of the gates. Just don't quit.
He knew I wasn't going to quit. That's all he said. He's like, he knew I was fine. Everybody knew I was fine. But the people, man, people quit left and right. They quit left and right. They'll quit on anything. And it's so easy to do once you start. You know, cardio. I love quitting cardio, but I got to do it. I got to
You
keep it
quit
going.
if you never start.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't skip leg day if you just do chest every day.
Damn right. See,
No, if you skip leg day, you're a child. For those people listening at home,
my legs are my soft spot. Like I fucking lift, and everyone still shits on me for my legs. I'm like, whatever, man. I give up.
yeah,
I'll just buy
that's all
smaller
right.
shorts.
Shout out to my buddy at Terminator Training, Kevin. Kevin's legs are about half the size of mine, and he deadlifts the exact same amount as me. So
I've got
it
the
don't
strength.
matter.
You just can't see it.
Yeah, it's you got the reputation and the history and all that, right? Okay, so how you're just TDY all the time and just running around the country playing video games? What caused this to come to an end?
I went to go re-enlist to my NDEF, and the recruiter was like, "You're barred from re-enlisting." I'm like, "What does that mean?" You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that means. So I start Googling, trying to figure out what to do, and they're like, "You can't be barred without you being notified or you signing something or your company command signing." I asked my commander, he's like, "I have no idea what this is." So he went up there, was like, "This is bullshit." He got it pulled. He's like, "This fucking dude is trying to re-enlist and he doesn't even know he's barred. I don't even know he's barred." So he got that fixed, and I re-enlisted. But as soon as that happened, USASOC found out and pulled me back to Bragg.
Okay, what like
Like I sent an email to the sergeant major at USASOC, and I had changed my phone number at this point. And within like 5 minutes of the email being sent, he didn't email me back. He called me. So I'm like, radio number, hello, sergeant major so and so. I was like, how'd you get my new number? That's creepy. Two, he's like, I saw your email. Fuck that. This was a nice gesture we were doing for them. If they're going to treat you like this, we're pulling you. And I had orders within the week.
hopefully one of my viewers can check me if I'm wrong, but like you don't get flagged or you don't get barred from enlistment unless you're flagged or there's an investigation
So there
or
was
you've
a
done
pending
something wrong.
investigation. That's what I'm saying. But no one told me about the investigation or the bar.
Pending an investigation for what?
Fraternization with a specialist
Oh,
who
here
was
we go.
my combat camera guy in the army and also my duo partner in Call of Duty.
On the
Like,
same team?
no, he was still in the regular army, but all of his free time, we'd hang out, playing online, playing tournaments and stuff. So that's what they hit us for, and they hit him too. I'm like, what does that even mean? So it got dropped immediately.
That's a real thing, but it seems it's reaching. It seems reaching. Like they were trying to get you for something else.
And they've been
What
trying.
did you do to piss them
I don't
off?
do that fucking TikTok with my cries. Fucking, they did not like that.
Okay. Did Sergeant Major pulling you out of there kind of make that all go away?
It did. I mean, I re-enlisted immediately. No issues. I got to brag. He took care of me. He also switched out as I was PCSing. So when I showed up, he wasn't there. So USASOC was like, who the fuck is this E7 promotable? Just show, like, they didn't have a billet for me. Is like they just transferred me and just like I was just walking around aimlessly for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, they put me in the G3X. It's right about the time I got diabetes, so you can't have Bluetooth or things, right? So I'm sitting there with all my insulin shit that's all Bluetooth and like alarms are going off. And I was like, my phone's outside the skiff, and so I couldn't work in there. So they basically just like stopped having me come to work. So I was just kind of like doing remote shit, being like a school board promotion guy for a few months.
Strange. Everybody's got a different path, man. We're all over the place here. I'm trying to keep up. So, all right, last one on that. How, when you look back on it and being forced into this weird program, how do you think you did with what you were given?
I mean, the numbers don't lie. So what they wanted out of me, I overperformed their expectations. Um, I helped fucking with the PT with all the other younger guys. You know what I mean? Like as far as the team player goes and meeting their goals tenfold, can't blame me. I don't blame them for not liking my personality or like the way I go about things. I've been raised a very different lifestyle in the military than anyone there is used to. So like anyone like that's probably not going to have a great taste of me anyways. So I'm okay with it. It's whatever they barred me from reenlisting for all this weird shit that I didn't know about. That's what set me off.
And what do you think about the people that didn't know any of this, that would just hating on you for no reason without understanding what was going on?
I didn't know, but the biggest misconception was is I left the teams to play video games. When I heard that, I was like, okay, like if you don't fucking know, you don't know. But I was already leaving the army for green to gold. Like I was under a month out from leaving when the esports thing happened. Like I chose to stay in the army to play video games because it was a cool idea, cool concept. But yeah, a lot of dudes, especially like the older soft guys, were like, "How could you leave the team, leave your guys to go play video games for the army?" I'm like, I I didn't, but nobody knows that.
Yeah. That's totally understandable, but bums me
They
out.
said it.
You
I'm like,
deployed to you deployed to combat probably more than fucking
most.
80% of
Yeah,
DBs,
but they
you
don't know
know?
that either. They just see the Green Beret on the gaming team. You know,
Yeah. Well, I thought you were an X. Like I was like, oh, that guy's probably an X-ray that enlisted for that or something like
yeah,
that.
most people do think I was an X-ray, and then they see me in uniform. They're like, "Well, I'm confused now."
All
Yeah, I'm like,
chest
I was
candied
I
up.
was in regiment for 2 years. Yeah, but like, what? I'm not an X-ray. I'm young. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. I hope that clears some of it up. I don't know. You don't know if anybody's going to watch it, but I mean, this is my show. I got that clears a lot of that story up for me. And really, hopefully it doesn't bother you. Does it bother you too much that people think that?
No, it's out of my control, man. I mean, I can understand outside looking in. If you don't know the fucking story and you see the clickbait or whatever you see, that's what you got. Like, there's been a lot of people who fucking despise me from online that I've met, and they're like, "You're nothing like what I expected." I was like, "Do I come off that fucking bad online?" Like, people were fucking worried about meeting me, and I'm like, "I'm pretty nice, I promise."
You brought up, I brought up things happening in their place in history, right? Because if you would have been a gamer 2 years later, you would have still been a gamer. You never go in the military. If you would have done this gaming thing later, you would be a military influencer now. And where do you think that would have that would have led you? Because now is a completely different game with
Yeah,
the
no,
military.
I thought about that. Like, especially if I didn't get med boarded, if I stayed in, like, what direction I would have gone. When I was in the G3X, they're like, "Hey, we'll wipe your online presence," you know. And I'm like, that the route I was going, that sounds great. But then I was like, also the opportunities I've had, the people I've met, some of the events that I've got to attend strictly from social media, I wouldn't pass that up. But yeah, if there was a structure already in place and it wasn't everything from the hip on the esports team, then yeah, I probably would have stayed in and kept going.
But that things didn't work out because once you have a 3 code on your pull heaves or whatever it's called, you're done. So you were already coming off of the team, or you get pulled out. Yeah, all right, we got to get this guy out of there. Send in the SAR team, pull him out, and how did you just go to an appointment, or were you feeling like shit, or how did you
So
find out you're
when I got back
diabetic?
to
Did you
Bragg,
fall over?
my motivation kind of like picked back up because I made the A list. And I was like, all right, so they're either sending me back to take a fucking team or I'm going to do the walk. So I was like, let's get in shape. Let's cut alcohol. I wasn't in a calorie deficit. I was eating, I was lifting, but I was losing weight. And, you see yourself every day. You can't really tell. I knew my weight was going down. And my father said something. He's like, you look sickly, like strung out. And I was like, oh. So I go to the hospital, get my levels checked, and they're like, yo, your blood sugar's 1300. Get in the fucking ambulance. You're going to the ER right now. And I'm like, I have my gym bag. I'm like, no, I'm good. They're like, no, we need to put insulin in your body. I'm like, I don't know what that means. I thought you had to be fat to have diabetes. You know what I mean? I didn't know I had family history of it or anything. So it's pretty big shock to me at least. Um, yeah, then took about 2 months and then they chaptered me out.
But you didn't feel bad?
No, I did wasn't lethargic. The last day I had to pee a lot and I had like a unquenching desire for anything. But after I drink it, I'd still be thirsty, which caused me to urinate more and more. And I was like, this is weird. Like I couldn't sleep. So that's when I went and got my levels checked.
That's gotta be a shock, man. Holy shit. What were you
Yeah.
thinking at this point?
Well, they thought it was some miracle type shit because I said I didn't have type 1 in my family because I didn't know. My uncle fucking died from diabetes a couple years ago, but I didn't know it was from diabetes. So I asked my father, he's like, yeah, my brother had type 1. I was like, every time you go to a hospital and they ask you, do you have any medical history in your family? That's when you say you have type 1 diabetes in your family. I said no, like over and over. And they're like, someone in your family has type 1 diabetes. Yeah, that was a lot.
I guess it's a good thing they caught it, because that could have ended very
My
badly.
blood
I
sugar.
mean, while you were driving, you
Yeah,
know?
I was literally had my gym bag. Like to go right after I got my levels checked.
What did you think about that? Because once that happens, you're gonna go into the med board process, because it's by when I went through, it was pretty worked out, and now once you go into it, you're out. Like you're out right away.
So they gave me the option because I just reenlisted to take me from 15 to 20, and they're like, you can stay here and pull like an 8 billet here at Swick for the next 5 years. And I'm like, that sounds fucking awful. I'm like, is it bad enough that I can get med boarded? They're like, yeah, absolutely. Like you're gone unless you want to work in an office. I'm like, no, I'm good. Just drop the packet. And yeah, it's a month and a half. I was out.
You didn't want to take the SWIC?
Just sitting in an office all day for 5 years after I've been
Yeah,
deployed every 6 months for six
you
months.
you know that wouldn't have been how it is. You'd have been making Green Berets. You'd have either run
No, it
SUT,
wasn't
or
like at
you'd have.
Swick. They were talking like use a sock in the fucking G offices.
Well, fuck that. Never mind.
Yeah,
Okay.
like no, they want to put me out to be an instructor. I would have taken that at a heartbeat. Like that's
Yeah.
something fucking fulfilling that you're doing with your career. Love that. But no, they're like, you're going to sit in a cubicle for the next 5 years doing paperwork.
Oh, well, that sounds awful. Yeah, and you can't take that chance that that's actually the case, because nothing ever works out how they tell you it's going to. But there's chance that that's true, and that would have been awful. So,
Plus, is you get 40% from the army for disability. So the reason I got kicked out doesn't even qualify you for anything. You get 40%. Like I don't get retirement or anything like that because I didn't have enough years and it wasn't a high enough percentage.
right. Yeah. So, but you're getting your VA.
I am getting my VA. Yeah, that part they did a great job, and I had all that workup from Boston for my diabetes thing. So all that packet got transferred in for the VA stuff.
Interesting. Did you look into the promotable retirement, medical retirement thing yet?
Yeah, so I sent HRC promotions an email that I generated from ChatGPT. They responded saying, "We looked up the record. You actually don't need this form. We'll put you into iPerms now with your promotion the day that I retired." I was like, "Okay," and they're like, "You just need to hit up." I think they said Bragg. once it's
Yeah,
all
to
said
get
and
your
done.
new retirement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which doesn't change anything for me. Just
You get to get a new retiree ID.
mm,
So it was a big deal for me. It was a big deal for me because the day I got out, I made the 7 list the month before, and the day I got out, I got promoted to E7. So it's in my mind, and that's really the only thing that it matters for is I'm in E7. So that makes me very happy that because I went through the exact same thing. So now you get to be an E8 for the rest of your retirement.
yeah, I'll take it.
Fuck yeah, man!
Go
And
get
you
my
don't know,
go get
something
my
might come.
uniform stitched up. I got this.
That's true too. That's true too. You might not do it now, but someday you're going to put that thing
I
on,
have
maybe.
the
And
shadow box is already built for the barn. I just need to put the uniforms in it.
cool, cool. Well, that makes me happy, man. That we met and then you found that out. So cool. What's next? Just building the fucking
Yeah.
barn dominium and living your best life and fading off into obscurity, or are you going to, because you're kind of popular on Instagram and your family's popular on Instagram, so are you going to lean more into that? And what
Um,
are you going to do?
I think a lot of it's going to be pushing forth like instructional videos. Like I'm not going to say I'm a world class fucking shooter or lifter or construction guy, but I'm doing it without a lot of knowledge in a good enough production sense that people could come watch and learn something and have something to take away for what I'm doing. So like building the barn dominium inside, that's all going to be me learning, but also recording it, trying to like help other people that are in the same boat as me. Once that range is done, I'll be back to doing a lot more shooting. I've definitely taken like a year off from being out there regularly, but
Yeah, the tactical side of things. Oh, that's one I wanted to bring up. Yeah. If you if the you hadn't gotten type 1 diabetes, and how long were you away from group when you made 8 and it was like, "Oh, I might be taking a team."
it was like 2 years.
Okay, so not that bad.
Which, if you think about senior sevens, you go to SWIC, right? 2 or 3 year gig, come back, take a team. I just didn't want to be, hey, where have you been for 3 years? Teaching SUT? No, I was playing video games. So like, I was trying to like get back on track of like, no, I was playing video games, but I kept up to date on everything.
Yeah, you can that's a if people don't think that, that's a big mountain to overcome, like, "Oh, fuck this guy. He's coming in and he's fucking playing video." He's probably and then they don't know your story is like, oh, this ain't some fucking douchebag that played video games. And now he wants to be my team sergeant. So
Exactly.
yeah, you better square it away. Do you think about that? Like, if I would have got to take a team, how would you have done?
I do. Because I definitely have takeaway from Ranger Regiment team leaders, like different ways to, shape people growing to do the best that they can. But then I take away from team sergeants that I have had the differences between each one, the different things that they stress and prioritize, but it's structured. They're doing everything they do for a reason. So I think I would have found a cool way to go about it to like really strengthen everybody. Yeah. I do think about it more often than I'd like to admit.
I like to think it probably would have been fine. We'd have figured it out, you
Exactly.
know? I mean, I figured everything else out. Uh,
That's my outlook, man. Like if I'm gonna figure it out, it might take me a bit, but I'll get it.
yeah. No, that's cool, man. That's cool. And what do you hope to build down there in Oklahoma? Just to be chill and have your just a relaxed life going forward, or is there any project that you have your sights on to work on? Because we don't do well when we don't have a project, and it leads to what idle hands are the devil's playground, I guess.
No, I'm gonna do kind of like a bunk area where people want to come out and visit, especially like guys in the soft community. They just want to get off the grid for a little bit. They want to shoot. They want to have a gym. They have all this land to just bullshit on. Then I'm gonna try to get it situated where I can open the door to that. There's a group I was in called like special something excursions. Same thing. It was like only open to soft people, but it was like bow fishing and shit like that. And I went and did one. I was like, this is fucking cool. Like no one knows each other, but you all have your same struggles relatively, and you're just 4 or 5 days with a bunch of other soft dudes, just bow hunting and what the fuck you want to do. It was fun. So I want to try to create something like that in like the next year and a half.
Yeah.
And where I'm at,
Yeah.
perfect for it. I mean, you know what I mean?
You got plenty of space and cicadas out there. Nice and relaxing.
I just fished a big ass one out of my little pool outside today.
Man, I'd forgotten about those, man. I was out there near the trees. I was like, man, this is fucking loud.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
I have windows open at night. I'm like, you can't hear shit besides those.
No. I called my wife. I was like, can you hear that? It's deafening here. Fuck. That's cool, man. I'm happy for you. I hope some people that also had heard or at least were aware that there was a Green Beret playing video games will get a little bit more information out of this one. I learned some things. I didn't know there was a hunting and fishing team.
Right?
That's ridiculous.
Tell you what,
But
when guys find that out, they're like, oh, yeah, that sounds great. I'm like, yeah, okay, video games can fucking die. Like, but you want to go fucking on a boat? You support it. Got it.
yeah, Major League Fishing, man's a real thing.
What I'm saying.
So, no, that's cool. That's cool. Are you happy with the job that you did in the military?
I am. I really am. I look back, like, there's definitely things I could have done better on or, like, treated people differently. Especially, like, leaving Regiment. Like, that was a pretty dickhead move. Yeah, no, I'm happy with my service. I mean, I did a lot of different shit. It's a very different career path than most people could even consider in their brain. But yeah.
You know, it's wild though, right? Because you hear the tagline: this dude played video games. You did some fucking crazy shit in your career. I mean, Ranger Regiment and SF alone, and then all the shit that goes along with that. There's some wild shit in there that you can't tell people, right? There's some
It's okay.
fucking
You played
crazy
video
stories.
games. Fuck that guy.
But you played video games. Fuck that guy. All right, man. Well, I got 5 questions here, and then I'll cut you loose.
All right.
How's that sound? What's your response to thank you for your service?
Fuck. I usually giggle. Honestly, I'm always like, you're welcome. I don't really know what else to say to him.
Is it just because you instantly flash back on your whole career?
I just think about all the dumb shit that I did that you're thanking me for, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're welcome. You have no idea what you're thanking me for, but you're welcome.
They're well intentioned. What's the one characteristic that sets operators apart from the conventional forces?
I'd like to say ability to adapt. We get hit with some curveballs that no normal person should ever be able to work through without freaking out. But we always come together somehow and manage to get over whatever the obstacle was.
What's the one moment of your career that you wish you could go back and relive or redo, and it wouldn't change where you are now?
Probably getting road killed and losing my gun. Like that 2 days, I could really do without the stress that it caused me of losing my gun for multiple hours, and then the stress of getting road killed, not knowing him. My military career was fucking at a halt.
Does that still stress you out?
It does, because like I just feel like there's sometimes that I'm like, damn, if they actually would have acted on it, nothing in my career would have gone forward at that moment. Like those are both offenses that a lot of dudes in the past have been fried for. You know what I mean?
I do. That's wild that it still gets you because you got yours. You got the beret and the tab, and it's still there.
Yeah, it's just one of those stories, and I'm like, damn, you guys, like, look at what listen to this story. Like, there's no way you passed. I'm like, trust me, I know. I have no idea.
What's the best piece of advice that you received during your career?
Um, as dumb as it sounds, I really like the like 20-meter goal versus your 300-meter goal. When I first in processed at group, Sergeant Major asked me, short-term, long-term goals. And when I came up for SWIC 3 or 4 years later, that new Sergeant Major was like, hey, I noticed you had interest in the kennels when you first got here. And I'm like, oh, you guys actually have some continuity? You guys talk about that?" He's like, "Yeah, right here. It says you have interest in being a dog handler because of Regiment. You really enjoyed it." He's like, "You want to go to SWIC or do you want to be a handler?" I was like, "That is the first time I've seen the Army work like that, where people actually remember, they pass on the information." So trying to focus to others about having a short term goal versus a long term goal, as opposed to just full sending it like I did most of my career.
Like that. That's good Sergeant Major right there.
Almost.
What were you afraid of then, and what are you afraid of now?
Probably just failing. Was never really good at failing things, or at least not completing it to like a good standard. I'd say that still is my biggest thing to today. You're like, I'm building this farm, right? But I'm like, what if I fuck something up and I'm stuck with this thing that I fucked up without doing enough research on it or going into it well prepared? Yeah, so just picking up something and failing at it's fucking terrifying. That's stuck with me since, I mean, my early Halo days before the Army.
Well, luckily, in your case, you're good with technology, and there is a YouTube video for literally everything
And
you're
I
about to do.
literally watch them all before I set a task. Like I put it into Chat GPT, then I fucking YouTube it. I show Chat GPT the YouTube, asking if this is good enough. They'll give me another one.
All right, I got a bonus one that's just bouncing around in my head. We'll see how it sounds. But from your respective, honest assessment of yourself, how good are you at video games?
I'd say, depending on the game, if I have enough time to play it and enough time to like focus in, I can still be like top 10% of the people playing that game. Like if I have nothing but availability to stress that game and learn the ins and outs, yeah, I think I can still do it.
Is that like something that you just because you can there's a lot of things you can learn, but I no matter how much I practice at some games, I'm not getting any fucking better. Can you just pick up the controller and it's there for you?
Yeah, I mean, but I stress the same thing. Like I play chess a lot. Same thing, right? Like it doesn't have to be a shooter. It's just I pick apart the game in a lot of different ways than a lot of people would, and I just either I try to game the system, just outsmart the other people. Is usually what it my reflexes aren't what they used to be. Like it used to be, I would never miss. Now I just have to be smarter than them, as opposed to being able to like finesse it with my fingers.
So you're a gamer, just like your tag, and you're a
Through and through.
gamer. Did you treat the military like it was a game?
In a sense, I just had the outlook that no matter what, it's a military school, and I know the people before me that have passed this school, that I'm in better shape, that I'm better head on my shoulders, that nothing should really be an issue for me based on the people before me.
Yeah, man. It seems like you did just fine. How can everybody find you on the socials if they so choose?
Everything, yeah, every social, Joshua, not Josh, underscore. Some motherfucker heard me on my stream talking about my rebrand and took Joshua, not Josh. Like the day I talked about it, the next day I tried to make it and someone took it. Doesn't use it, just took it. So I have an underscore after my name. Fuckers.
The internet is undefeated.
Yeah, you can't beat it, and I know it.
You- all right, brother. You got anything for me?
I got nothing. Just appreciate the opportunity.
As I say, honor's all mine. I appreciate you coming on my show and telling your story for the first time. And I hope some people get some things cleared up. And whatever helps you helps me. And if you need anything from me in the future, I do appreciate you, brother. And I'm always here. I got some opinions. I got some tactics, techniques, and procedures.
I'll
But
bring you out here, put you on the YouTube channel. We got it.
hey, man, it's all for the gram.
Always.
Bye, everybody.